Ding, 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 ding. Who's ready to go ahead and get that battle on in the market? I'm ready to see what happens today. It's a big day for us. The Fed is here. And yes, I know that everyone's going to be waiting till 2 p.m. to see what happens with that meeting. I'll be watching and trading until then. Like always, guys, smash the like. We'll actually have the Fed meeting on right here on Benzinga. So if you guys are ready to just stick around and have a killer market day, stick right here on Benzinga and hit that like button while you're at it. It's kind of funny. We have 420 people watching right now. Cannabis today?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part, it's beatable.
Aloha out there, and aloha to my money-making man, Ryan Faloona. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on? What's going on is that yesterday on the show, we talked about Lyft. We talked about it in the pre-market. We talked about taking it short through the print. We posted a trade idea in Benzinga Pro, and we got the Lyft results, and they were spectacularly bad. Stock really getting crushed today. We got that chicken dinner.
So bad that Uber was like, you know what, Lyft, we saw those earnings. We'll show you what a real earnings report looks like. And Uber said, you know what, we're not going to wait till tonight, and we're going to go ahead and just knock it out right here. You lower the bar, we'll go ahead and raise it back up. That's what Uber did right here. So we'll be watching a little bit of mix conversations in travel. And if you guys want to learn more about what's going on in the travel industry, I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. We're going to be getting into an interview with TRVG. Yes, I said it. Trivago, guys. We're going to be doing that on Benzinga Live at 12:15. Don't miss that. I'll actually be joining Spencer Israel to be doing that interview because I think it's an important area. You guys know how I like to talk about it on Money Mitch. We'll go ahead and get to that interview a little bit later from today. Now let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what Ryan's looking at today. And of course, we'll go ahead and take a look at what I got.
All right, sounds good. So I want to quickly, I'm going to go over the mover scanner here. I see a really great question here from Gary saying, Ryan, what was the thought process for the Lyft put trade? We'll talk about that. A lot of good stuff in there that can be reused for other trades. So we'll go over that. Let me go ahead and go through the watch list and give Mitch a chance to go through his watch list as well. As Mitch said here this morning, we've got the Fed at 2. So for me, these are days where I'm definitely only going to be trading off of the scanner here. So we're looking for these small caps. Sometimes we call them junk stocks. We're going to be looking for scalps, range breaks, high-a-day breaks, things like that, because I don't think that's really going to be affected by the meeting here later today. I expect in some of these other stocks, like some of the bigger tech or the bigger cap stocks that we talk about on a regular basis, I expect those to have somewhat muted trading until we actually get the information from the Fed meeting. I think that's when you'll see the really big trades. Now we can prepare for that as best we can. We'll take a look at levels for some of these stocks and have a game plan. But prior to that, I'm going to be looking for stocks just pretty much off the scanner. I think that's going to be fruitful for us. I was just going through the movers list here, adding some of my supports here or some of my lines here. This is ACON. This is ACON. I've actually never seen this before. I've never traded this ticker. I've never even punched this ticker into my brokerage. On average, it trades about 3.2 million shares already. Today, it's traded 2, so we look to be above our average pretty healthily here, if that's a word. It is now. Looking at some of these levels here, I'm basically looking back over the past couple of days and then marking off some of these really important levels. The exciting thing about this particular stock is that it looks like it's got a pretty good range. Even today, from 190 to 260 back to 180 here. If we scroll back here, we did go up to 4 a couple of days ago. So this stock looks like it likes to move around here, and maybe if we can get this to catch, we can get a nice little trade off of this. Also off of this list is going to be RVSN, right? This is Rail Vision. This is another stock that I've never really traded, but it's making a pretty good upward channel here. This is an ideal formation for a day trader. I don't know if this is going to continue into the regular session, but we're going to watch and see what type of action this has. LTHM, Livent Corporation. This is a little bit higher price than what we normally see, but this too could also get some movement. The key here, they had earnings. Obviously, they have. Why is it moving here? It's higher after the company reported Q1 EPS and sales results and raised sales guidance. Now, the issue with this particular trade is that we don't necessarily have the volume yet. In fact, this wouldn't even appear on my scanner yet. It's only traded 656,000 shares. My threshold for the scanner is 1 million shares traded. On average, the stock does 2.5 million. So if volume comes into this name, that might be one of the things to watch to see if we have a potential trade. I was just going down the list here. I'm going to skip over some of these penny bios. SATL, I'm probably, being honest, I'm probably not going to trade this one. But looking at this range from 10 to 18 here in the pre-market, this thing could get wild. We'll see if it appears on the scanner. We'll see if there's a potential setup. Might as well know about it, but knowing myself and how I like to trade, will probably stay away from this one. Figured it'd be worth mentioning. We've talked about Boyle quite a bit here. We've talked about natural gas. This thing is absolutely crazy. I mean, this went from 23 to 100, back down to 24, and now it's at 116 in here, or 114 here in the pre-market. Absolutely crazy. This thing has all types of movement. I don't really think that I can peg this and trade it successfully. We'll see. I mean, today, just looking at the action here today, this is wild. So worth mentioning. Probably won't trade this. Going down through the rest of the stocks here. 10X, this one kind of stands out. It's a sub penny, but I know we've traded this before. HUSA, sorry, this was the last one here. HUSA, this is an energy stock that we've traded here on this program. This is going to need some volume to really get going. Again, on average trades just about 10 million shares, 9.3 million shares. We've only traded 330,000 shares this morning. So this really needs to some more volume to get going. We're going to be watching these stocks. We're also going to be watching the scanner out of the open. And of course, we're going to be looking to close the lift puts trade that we took yesterday. So the CEO started talking. He was on an interview. The stock has moved lower since he started talking. So thank you very much. I think it's Zimmer or something like that.
All right.
Anyway, Mitch, that's what I got so far.
Yeah, you could see there a lot. Ryan coming in loaded. Let's go ahead. Let's keep it going here, guys. Now, one thing I got to say is I got to sound the rally horn here. I got to call my Chewbacca's out there. And I got to go ahead and hit the
Happy
Star Wars here. Got to do it. May the 4th be with you today, guys. As the great one said, this is the greatest teacher failure is, guys. I put it up today. In trading, traders can become indecisive. One of the biggest things that we got to do, guys, is do not fear. Success comes to those that don't try, but do. I think this is very important, guys. Do or do not. There is no trying. I'll say that again, guys. There is no trying. We just take trades. What do? We base them on our strategy, our system. And then what do we do? At that moment of decision making, you do not question your skills, because that's what making a system is all about. At that moment, you just do. Do not fear, because success comes to those that don't try, but do. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. Let's take a look at some of the stocks out there. And like always, guys, do us a favor. Guys, share this with you guys. Share this with your Twitter followers. Maybe today they can go ahead and benefit from the quote. And like I said, the greatest teacher failure is, and I think that's very important. Most people don't learn from success. They learn from their failures. All right, let's go ahead. I was taking a look at Hood when that news came out about them lending It looks like they're looking into lending for stocks and stuff like this. This just shows to me that this is kind of like last resort for Hood. They're trying to do whatever they can to get their price up. And right now, it's not showing like they can do anything with this. I think this eventually comes down towards the $8 price point. I'll be looking for when it comes down below that $8 to start dipping my toes in maybe in Hood. But as we can see from the IPO and from what this stock did on like day 2 or day 3, I mean, it's just been a downtrend the same way. And I will state it is Coin. I know everybody wants to get in Coinbase. This has been an absolute disaster stock. I think if you're going for it, I mean, power to you. Maybe you have a longer time frame than me, but I don't want to touch these with the 10-foot pole. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some other stocks out there. AMD having some good earnings today. This is I think the most important stock today. Why do I think it's the most important stock for me is that I'm going to be watching to see if this can end red today. It's so important. If this does end red, I'm going to let you know, guys. I'm going to be like pure bearish mode tomorrow. You guys will see me as bearish as can be. Right now, I'm kind of more in a wait and see mode because I think this is very important. Now that we gotten some good reports, do we get continuation to the upside, or do we just see these good reports just get washed out? Because if they just get washed out, that's a sure sign for me that we're in a bear market. And I know that these a lot of people are trying to be optimistic on the move up. And I think that that's exactly what you see in the late innings of bull markets is everyone wants the market to come back up because they're deep in the red in some names. And now they're seeing the stocks come back. So the optimism is there at any time that there's a move towards the upside. And we'll see if that continues. Like always, I'm not against AMD because if you look at that green line, that was the line that I talked about buying it on a long-term kind of look. I talked about in between these areas, I would even take a look at it for a longer term. And now it went in that area and now popping out of it. Doesn't mean that I'm against AMD, guys. It just shows you that what I'm looking for is to see how we react on the tech stocks because I think that's what can lead us back in the rally. But if they don't rally today, that's going to show us a lot. All right, Mitch, stop saying red on AMD. You're nuts. Hey, what can I say, man? I pay attention to, I think, what's important. And to me right now, this is the most important stock to look at today, at least from my eyes. I'll be watching AMD to see what happens there. All right, we'll go ahead and see what happens in other stocks. Of course, Airbnb also got a little bit of a lift here. We'll see if this can come back rallying today. I'm not going to pay attention to it too much. Really, it's all about the SPY. And look how we've been trading in kind of this sideways action. I think we're going to get a pop right at the open. I think it might even go to like 420, the SPY, and then eventually start coming back down. So where are levels that I can start getting bullish? A hold above, let's say, 420 after 12 or 2 p.m. would get me to that point where I can be like, okay, we're still holding the bullish trend. Everyone's feeling bullish. We can start trading towards the upside. But I think there's going to be a lot of bull traps right out the gate. So I'm going to be watching to see what happens. Doesn't mean I can't join one of these and just sell quickly into the move. We'll see what happens on these. Just to kind of mention sectors yesterday. Basic materials coming back yesterday. Having a great day. Coal came back. Agricultural inputs came back, silver came back, lumber and wood production has really started to move as of late. You can see it here on this industry outlook. I've been waiting to see what happened with lumber, if it was going to come back roaring, and it has recently. So this is why I'll be looking at, if we're going to get an upside move in lumber, I'll be looking for Home Depot to catch a bid here, guys. It did here on the 28th, and it was starting to run. Now we've had a couple of sideways days, so let's take a look at the hourly chart. And what are you going to see? You're going to see a little bit of a trend line here that we can draw from this peak on that 21st towards the 28th, and then coming back towards 310 today. We'll see if we can get back up there towards 310 on Home Depot. And a lot of this will depend on the lumber trade, but you guys can also watch, of course, basic materials and coal. One of the strongest one has been AMR, and I'll give it to Jay. I think it was Jay that mentioned it in the chat. That's what this show is really all about, is you guys out there helping each other out. Did my camera freeze up here?
No. Yes, it did.
Haha,
wow, yeah,
my camera said no mas. I'll just restart it here, guys.
While you're figuring that out here, I'm going to go ahead and answer Charlie's question here.
Boom.
Why is RVSN moving, Ryan? Charlie, great question here. Well, whenever I see something like this, if there's no news being presented to me via the why is it moving, I'll always kind of review the news tab here. When I don't see any company specific news, the very next thing I check is the float. Okay, so we have a low float stock here that's gapping up on no news with some extreme volume. To me, it seems like this is probably being traded by a group or a room or maybe multiple. Something else to keep in mind, I don't know that the catalyst here is great, but one of the things that we've seen time and time again, and even recently, are some of these low float stocks that can go absolutely crazy. So I'm going to be very conservative with my downside protection on these trades, but I am looking for these to move. And as long as the volume's there, I should be able to get in and out. Hope that helps.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens there. Like always, guys, use your Benzinga Pro to get first to the news.
Yeah, 1 sec. Naggers, you're saying there's a $7 price target for RVSN.
How do we look that up? How do we do that, Ryan? How can we look that up to see if we got it or not?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure that one is in here. So if we go in here and we go to analyst ratings, 5.2 here. This was from yesterday though. So this is kind of why I was asking. Are you is this what you're referring to? Okay, the Aegeus Capital from yesterday, not yesterday. This was from Monday morning. Buy target, $7 price target right here. Mitch, just to kind of answer your question, you can do that from the very same tool on Benzinga Pro, right? All I did was I clicked on calendar and I clicked on analyst ratings. That's where you're going to see the different analysts and their price targets. And here is the $7 price target that I think Naggers was talking about. Let me know, though, because from what I see here, this is not new. This is not a new issue today. This happened on Monday. So when I was asked, what the news is, I'm looking for news today, didn't see it. So good spot there. He said, yep, that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, so $7, a recent $7 price target on Monday. No new news today. Seems like the volume is finding it today. That's what we'll end up watching.
Yeah, it was an initiation, I believe, for a price target at 7. So you guys know how that might be. I mean, I can give you guys I could throw out plenty of stock price targets that were initiated on SPACs at like 20, 40 to $55, and those stocks are probably trading at 5. So just to kind of put a warning sign on this, not saying that analyst is wrong, but also just going to kind of point towards a warning flag. Whenever you see a price target it just seems ridiculous, like it's just like way far from the stock. Yeah, it can help the stock, but doesn't mean that it's also just going to get there.
And remember, these price targets are 12 to 18 months in the future.
Outlook.
So just because we had this on Monday doesn't mean it should be going to 7 by Wednesday. Right?
Exactly. We'll keep watch, of course.
We'll watch it though. Yeah, absolutely.
It could make moves, and we'll see what happens. That AMR, I'll keep watching to see if it can hold 158. That's been a really good push there. Let's take a look around at some other stocks that could be trading today. Energy has really started coming back. We'll keep watching to see if oil can keep making moves on up. I think that's very important. Technology is definitely going to be important, of course. The bigger stocks like Apple, can we get Apple back towards 165 today, or do we crush down through that 159.15 going back towards 156? Tesla, let's go to the Tesla Dragon. The Tesla Dragon has been sideways here between 929 and 866. You could pull it down a little bit further. Let's say towards that close here, 860. So we got about what is that, 70-point range here in Tesla. I'm going to be looking for this to get out of this range. Above 930s, you can take a look towards 950s. Below 860s, we could take a look down towards this kind of like 820 area. That's about 40 points down and about 20 points on the upside towards 950. We'll see if Tesla can get moving again. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other ones. I know that we got a ton of earnings stocks later today. Let's take a look at our calendar here. There's just so many earnings right now that we can take a look at some of these, but definitely today before the open, Wingstop. How did that one go, Ryan? Take a look at that one.
That's ticker
I'm just
wing,
interested
right?
in hearing. Maybe I'm just hungry, but we'll see what happens. After the close today, though, we got eBay, we got Twilio, Allstate, Uber, Etsy. So pay attention to some of these. They could get moving. TripAdvisor, Corvo. Definitely we'll keep on watch and definitely see what comes out the gates here. Let's go, guys. There's the bell. Time to make some money. All right, guys, right out the gates, energy up 0.37. So a little bit of a gap up on oil names. Utility, a little bit of a push there. Real estate, and then basic materials. I'm going to be looking at coal. Of course, the number one stock I love, BTU. We'll see what happens on that one too. AMR has been stronger, but BTU has pulled back significantly. We'll see if this can take out some highs around 2250s and what happens in the overall market today. Let's take a look at the SPY right out the gates. Looks like we're starting to dip there. Just be careful out there, guys. I think 420 on the upside is what you want to be seeing if you're looking for bullish moves. Downside below 416. Watch out. Q's also coming back down here. Of course, I'm just going to keep on watch of what? AMD, guys. AMD tried to push there towards 99 right before the bell. Now already back down towards 96. So we'll see what happens on that trade. All right, catching up with the chat. I'm going to be a little bit more watching in the chat today. So if you guys got something to talk about, go ahead and do that. I'll let Ryan work and try to nail a trade. We'll see what happens out there.
Yeah. So real quick, just to kind of talk about Lyft here, I'm sitting on the offer on these puts at $7. Full disclosure, I paid $113. So if this trade ends up getting filled, it's going to be a $113 to $7. You're looking at a 500% gain pretty much at that point. So nice little trade there. When things slow down a little bit, we will absolutely discuss the thesis for that. One of the things I'm watching here is SATL. We talked about that one from the open. There we go. Filled on Lyft. We are closed there. Lyft continuing lower here. So massive 500% gain overnight on that. We'll go into that here in a sec. The one other thing that we wanted to talk about on SATL, this is StatLogic. This is also a low float stock. So we just talked about RVSN being low float. This one, I don't have a float figure, but I was poking around here. We're thinking under 3 million here in the float. Of course, there's a news item here that said that they announced multiple launch agreement with SpaceX. Full disclosure, I actually need to read over this. I want to see if this is more.
Which one was it?
This is SATL. This is the ticker. Sam Alpha Tango Lima. I actually want to read through this PR here, but the fact that they're mentioning SpaceX, the fact that this is low float, clearly this could be in play here today. So we're gonna watch it so far. First move here was down. This thing is incredibly spready. I mean, right now it's 1027 by 1045. I mean, just a huge spread here. So it might be a little too difficult for the type of trading that I do. If you opt to trade this, understand the risk, understand what you're getting into, and please be careful.
Yeah, I'm going to look for a dip on that towards 10 to hold and then for it to come back towards 1050. I think right here you're looking at a 50-cent risk here right at the top there. And yeah, it could go to 11, but I will look for first a test down to 10. Let it kind of tick down there. Maybe even give me some wicks down towards 9s. And then I want to see the actual candle close right near that 10, giving me a good risk to return. Then I can look for the move on up. We'll see what happens on that one. SATL. I always love to hear SpaceX connections because I think that's one of the companies that is private that most companies wish they had a partnership with. All right, we'll see what happens out there. Right now, I'm not trying to be too reactive. I'm trying to be almost kind of patient. Yesterday, I feel like we went a little bit too quickly, and that's how it can happen. Here's that $10 test there for SATL. Here's the $10. I'm going to see what happens here because it's so important. It could hold on the downside. You see right there, down to 965. That's what I wanted to avoid because it really quickly, I mean, if you're looking at that, that's like more than a 10-20% drop right out the gates. That's what I was trying to avoid right out the gates here. So I want to see the recovery of 10. Let it test, let it stop people out, stop. And then I'm going to look for a hard recovery. That's when I can try to join. I don't like to jump in there immediately. I want to see some people get caught, and it sounds bad, but it's the truth. Some people get caught at the open, and then the stock recover.
And so that's on SATL. If we RVSN here, first move, like right out of the pre-market here, or excuse me, during the pre-market, we pushed up. First move here is down. It is trying to come back on. I got a VWAP here at 212. That would be a nice little entry. This thing's pushing. We'll see if this thing can get going. No entry on this yet. This is the one that I would say I'm watching the most at the moment. Oh, and real quickly, Ryan Milligan asking, when is the Fed meeting today? So it was a 2-day meeting. One of the things that I would suggest, again, using Benzinga Pro, go into your calendar tool and then select the economics calendar from the dropdown. One of the coolest features that we have in the economics calendar is that you can actually filter by type, and we have a preset for Fed. So anything that's Fed related, you can literally check that preset. It will only show you those items. It will list the times here. The press conference, as you can see, is today at 2:30 p.m. The interest rate decision is at 2 p.m. All times here are Eastern. The statement is also at 2 p.m. This should answer your question, Ryan. You can get this anytime by using Benzinga Pro. This is why this tool kicks so much butt. Okay, let's go back to our scanner and see what we're doing here.
I'm taking a quick look at that STAL. I like it right now. There it goes too quickly there, guys. I should have grabbed it at 9.95. I wanted to get it at 10, but when 10 came, it already went to 10.15s. It's at 10.23 already there. I like that little call there at 10. I would probably risk off 9.75 there. If I got the 10, that's about a 25-cent risk. Looking for above 10.50s at the minimum, but it did just bounce back there. Kind of that washout and then a recovery of 10. Kind of what I was looking for, but I didn't get it right there. It kind of jumped on the offer side up about 20 cents. I'm not going to jump in 20 cents higher and then just see myself get a pullback to 10 because that will be an immediate pressure on that. But it's not a bad move. It's definitely looking like some people are trying to trade it. I'm going to get off of it, but it does look interesting. Okay, red box popped off the bell. Well, I'll take a look there. It's up there to 716. We'll see if that can continue to run. A blue apron was the good one yesterday, and it kind of gave up all the gains towards the end of the day. We'll see what happens on that one. That one went all the way up to like 490s and then went all the way back to 399. All right, let's see what's moving out the gates here, guys. And basic materials.
ACON is moving out of the gates here. I'm not in it, but we curled right up here, went through 234 seems to be the next spot here. So ACON, not in this, watching it, still trying to watch RVSN too. A lot of action here out of the open. And remember, it's these little stocks, it's these little stocks that we're watching prior to that Fed decision. Excuse me. Looks like a big offer there at 221 that's getting refreshed. Oop, they cleared it. Nope, refreshed. All right, so we'll watch ACON. Looks like we're pulling back here. Hopefully this will set up and give us an opportunity to enter it. Again, not in it right now. Have not traded this yet today. So Apple, nice push out of the gate here too. Lyft continuing to go down. Good Lord. Lyft really having some trouble here. And we'll discuss why I closed it here at the open here. I want to make sure we get out of this, out of the first 15 minutes after the open here, and then we'll start discussing some strategy on why that stuff gets taken.
All right, kind of keep an eye out on BTU right now. I wanted to make it a triple bottom on the 1 minute here around 22. It could test 2190s. Then I'm going to try to add into jumping in here. I already got a little small position on there at 2210. Looking to add here on BTU. Just needs to hold the 22 on the breakdown of this 1 minute candle. We got about 2 or 3 seconds on this. So there you go, there, right there. I added now at 2208s. The risk is 2190s here. Let's see if we can get this back on up here.
Big pull here on ACON. Looks like it stopped here at 210. Actually might take a few shares here. Stop going to be 210 on the downside. So got a kind of a smaller position here, hoping that we bounce after that pull. It's quite possible that we knife again. So I'm reducing my position size in order to not get myself hurt here. So just 1,000 shares here. Would like to add, if we continue to move back up here, what would be ideal is if we snapped that 234 spot. We'll see 210. Here we are on 210. We snapped that beneath. Big bidder at 209. I'm going to be out here. So we'll see if this sets up again. Lost $34 on that trade. No big deal. I can handle that. I want this to really kind of set up again. I really don't want this to knife back down to the lows here. So I'm going to keep watching this. Wanted to take a stab for a bounce there. Bounce did not happen. We'll wait for it to set up again.
All right, guys, could get a VWAP fade or a move back above VWAP here for BTU. So just keeping a close eye here. Let's go towards the 1 minute so I can show you guys what I was looking at on my platform above. The triple bottom there around the 22s is what got me excited. At least it gives me a level to go off of, right? Whenever I get these hard dips down in a stock that I like, I want to at least have a level in the sand. And now, right now, that's 22. We shouldn't really see it close below that. We should look for a move back above 22.25 to show his conviction that is starting to come back here. There's 22 23s. Can we hold 22 25s? Then just start pushing back here towards the 22.45 level.
RVSN, by the way, going up and trying to take out 235. 235 absolutely has a big seller there. If that can get taken out, we might be in business here. So we shall see.
All right, let's see what's going on out there, guys. Who is making that money? Who's getting that money out there, guys? 22.30s showing up there on BTU. Can we take out the 22.40s? I'll go ahead and I'll sell half of it there. That'll be a nice 40-cent gain there, 30-cent gain there. Let's see if we can get up there to 22.40s here.
So lots of stuff happening here. Lots of stuff happening here. It'd be interesting if RVSN can really make a push above this 235 level. It stopped there twice, so we'll see if we can actually take this out.
All right, a little bit of a pullback there in BTU. We'll see what happens there, but it did pull back from that 22.25 breakout. We'll see what happens. AAL showing strong move upwards. Just want to call that out. And look at NVIDIA and AMD, guys. They're getting NVIDIA is getting crushed. I have to take a look at AMD. But yeah, NVIDIA getting crushed there. Yeah, AMD too. Well, where's that guy that was hating on me for being a little bearish on it? Look at that move on AMD. It's already coming back down, guys. Let's see how much does it give up here. Let's use the fib retracement, see if there's any levels that stand out for us. Already pulled back through the 38s. We're going to look for maybe, do we find some support at the 50? 50 is 94, 96. It's already down there towards 95.
RVSN up at 235. They're chipping away at the block. I'm long 231 here, RVSN.
All right, putting
chipping
you up,
away at the block on RVSN. Let's pop, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Took that block out. Immediate pull. I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm out, BTU. I had to say it. It was going down fast there.
Yeah, so I actually did not close the trade there on my pop. Was too excited. Did not close it. It's pulling here on me, but I actually like it to go back through that area. So we will go ahead and see here. In fact, I'm gonna dollar cost average here and add real tight stop 217. We take the L on this one, guys. Let's see if we can push back through.
I want to see Twitter close up by 50 today. Keeps hanging out in this 49. It's dangerous if it gets back to 47. BTU just really quickly stopped me out there. Maybe could have took 22.30s, taken 20 cents, but hey, it's not the worst there. Ended up losing about 23 cents there. Would have been the 1-to-1 on it. Airbnb being mentioned. Yeah, man, that's nice. A nice little push there. But man, I got out of this stock earlier last week, and I don't know if I want to jump in right now. But I do like this stock. It's hard to trade sometimes. It has a big range on the weeklies. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there? Is there news for LTHM? Maybe we're getting a little lithium.
Yeah, they had earnings. I can't
There
get you
you
the
go.
stats, but they had earnings.
There you go. So maybe take a look at LAC today or something like that. One of the things that I would look at those is look for hourlies to hold. LTHM hourly support is around, I would say 2563s. BTU already trying to recover, but I'm leaving that one alone. I'll wait for it to break out above 2250s. What else are we seeing on out there, guys? If you guys got a big stock moving, go ahead and call it on out. Let's take a look at the SPY here. What are we doing with the SPY? SPY has just been sideways here. From the open, yeah, we look like we're going towards 419, but now we've been weakening there. The big thing I think is look at stocks like Apple and stuff. Apple has been strong here, but the market has not shown what Apple's doing right now. Normally, the market follows on Apple. It has a high correlation. Right now, you're not seeing it.
RVSN trying to come back on here. Nice little block there at 231. So that's a little bit lower than what we saw before, but the block is smaller. So we'll see if 231 actually gets taken out here. If it does, I'm interested to see if there's more sellers back at 235. Did they refresh the sellers at 235? Are those sellers gone now? That's what we'll be interested to see here. So it's hanging out here after that pullback. We'll see if it ends up going higher. If it doesn't, we can cut it and wait for it to set up again. There's no sense in sticking around if the trade plan's not working out. So I want to wait and see here. I want to see if 231 can go. I want to see what's at 235. That's basically what I'm waiting on here.
Trying to see if BTU is going to recover or not, or it's going to flush down. Looks like it's flushing.
Still watching RVSN here. It's at the 229 level. Lots of stock being traded here. Volume's pretty huge. So there's 230. Let's see if we can clear out 231. Back to 231 and rejected here. So unable to get through 231 the first time through, or the second time through.
Daniel Adams talking about a long-term trade in that's First Solar. Not a bad look there. You know, one of the things that you're going to start seeing, and I think you'll start seeing it later into the year, is a lot of talk about reliance of oil, right? And how we need to stop relying so much on oil. I think that's one thing that you'll see later. But one of the things that you got to see, Daniel, for that, I think, is you got to start seeing what the destruction of that oil trade that's been happening. I think that's when you start seeing that kind of turn around. So I would wait to start seeing signs of oil really weakening, and then I would go after the solar names. But I understand why you're taking a look at this, Daniel. It doesn't mean that you're wrong now. I just think I'm going to wait a little bit until I see some of that demand destruction there from the oil. And then we can start seeing, okay, supply is coming back to the market. Demand is coming down. And what's going to be talked about more and more is, of course, solar being mentioned and that kind of renewable energy outlook.
Closed RVSN there flat. Feeling heavy, really struggling with this 228. So first we had 235, then we had 231, then we had 228 as the struggle point. Those points are coming in. My position here, remember, I added when it pulled on me, so I was negative. My add was able to get me back to about flat. I'll wait for this to set up. I'll take the risk off and wait till I have the odds more in my favor. So out of RVSN right now, but that trade might not be over for the day here. Acon looks like this tried to pull back down, stopped at what, 196 and reversed here. So a nice little move through two. Realistically, what I'd like to see here is a VWAP reclaim. Let me see what I can see on the level 2. That's also going to tell the story on where we're at here. Nice little bounce. We need this to continue. I got what, 213, 214 as VWAP. We cross back through there. You might have a long swing there.
All right, guys, might take one more swing in BTU. Guys, seeing some bottoming action here near the 2190s. That's the hourly pullback level. That's why I like that level. Did flush through it last time where I got down towards the 80s. So I'm waiting for another move back above 2210s to show me the strength in BTU coming back, and then we'll look to see if it pushes back. But right now it is weakening. Let's take a look at the sectors. Let's see what we're seeing out there. AAL still strong, guys. I just want to mention that airlines look strong right now. So I will mention that one that is having a good day. Let me see the industrials. Are the industrials leading now? Yes, industrials are leading there, guys. Stocks like UPS having a good day here, but I'll call out some other ones. Your RVSN is in there, just to kind of mention, Ryan. It's an industrial and it's a railroad play. And then it's funny because I always love to do this, right? And so industrial, and what do? We look for the laggard type of play. You look at RVSN. What do you see? You see rail. Rail is one of these that are cheaper that could get moving now. That's trading at 590s, could get through to $6 today. NSC trading up, CP trading up, CNI, UNP. There's a bunch of these kind of trading on out there. So definitely take a look there. They're having a good day in the industrials. Let me take a look at airlines. Airlines are still a little down. That's kind of interesting. The American Airlines is showing that strength there. UAL is actually leading them with a 1.3% move. A lot of traps out there this morning. Yep, that's what I was looking for. I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that there would be some traps. I got trapped a little bit, and then I'm just glad that I'm being patient with my second trade here. ALB doing well today. Specialty chemical stock there, up by the VWAP there, has been looking strong here, coming on back. It's looking for a day 2 move. Has a trend line that it could break out of, going up there towards 230s. Doesn't look too bad there. Lumber and wood production pushing. So we said, let's look at Home Depot. Let's take a look at that. Doesn't look too bad now that it's starting to push back off the pullback there. Going to take a look at Home Depot here. It's a higher price stock, so you got to be careful. You got to look for a pullback here for me. It already pulled back towards the VWAP once when it pushed above, so I'm going to look for a test down towards, let's say, 305.50s here, and maybe take a shot off the 304.50 mark. Lodging up 1.41. Hilton coming back today. Yeah, Hilton's coming back a little bit. H doing well right now, and Marriott kind of leading the way up. Easy Go, not having a bad day there. Financial services up a little bit. Of course, what? Rate hikes. People are looking at some banks. Can't blame them.
Yes, Lemon Basin Fed announces rate hike today. Yes, that is at 2 p.m.
2
Trevor
p.m.
Jones asking, how do I see the sectors in Pro? What do you mean? Like the screen that Mitch is showing is not in Benzinga Pro. That is in
another charting service.
That's another charting service. One of the ways around that you could do is you could create a watch list. So here was one that I was testing someone's issue. You could create a watch list that just has the ETFs in them. Remember, there is no index or futures quote in Pro yet. That is something we're looking to add. But you can use the tradable ETFs and just create a watch list of the different sectors. You know what? I might go ahead and create that for the community and put it on the help site. Give me a little bit to create that here today. But you can do that manually simply by adding those to a watch list. So our RVSN here, might as well talk about this while we're kind of waiting for this to set back up. RVSN going through going through the motions here, if you will, right? Pulling back to the VWAP, bouncing. What we'd like to see is to have this set up. Remember, the average price that I had was 226, so we're under that. This is exactly why I closed it. I don't necessarily want to sit here hoping that we get back to that spot. Instead, I'll just take the risk off the table, wait for it to set back up. Here we go as we look to move back through that 226 area. Stopping here at 225, we'll see if we can get through 226. A little bit bigger of a seller there at 226. We're on the offer there, and nice little rejection there. So here we go. So now we have another spot confirmed here. And this is going to give us our steps to see if we can trade this. Can we make it through 226? Can we then make it through 230? Can we then make it through 235?
I'm making a hard move down, guys. Just be careful out there.
SPY pulling here. Sure is. Yep. Sure is.
416.29, big important level. We keep bouncing off that level. Do we flush it on this move? We'll see.
Charlie asking, Mitch and Ryan, any chance of level 2 coming to pro? My response to that would be, why do you want that? Why do you want that in pro instead of in your broker? That is, Benzinga Pro is a news feed with scanners built in. It's not actually trade execution. Why would you want to separate that from your broker and put it in pro? Your broker should give you level 2 for free. By the way, our VSN now through those spots as we were talking, moving towards the highs here. So this is what we were waiting for. Of course, I took my eyes off of it, and now we're out of there. There's 235 again as we move higher here. See if we can come back down. RVSN, this sure looks like it wants higher. I'll be honest. It sure looks like it wants higher. Yeah, Kyle, I also want futures. It's Buddy's here. I think actually Buddy's sleeping. Shelly, I hung a bird feeder outside and the bird activity has been off the chain. So Buddy's been busy. Here we are at 240 on RVSN. Big spot here at 240. If we can take that, we'll likely go here. Telling you, this thing sure looks like it wants higher. Going to try some here at 240 for a pop. There we go. Small. See that? And this is what happened the last time when they popped 235. It popped above it and they immediately yanked it. And then I spent time trying to wait until it gets back above. So here we are at 240. Reduce the size just a little bit here. I want to see this pop and move. Not doing that yet. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that. Ryan, you look so stressed. Shelly, I am not stressed. I am having a heck of a morning so far. There is no stress here. I am watching these trades pretty closely, though. Bird cam when? You know, that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe Mitch can help me set up a webcam that's like outside or monitors the deck that I can watch. And that would be really cool. That's actually a really cool idea. Let me see if I can get that working. That would be really fun.
Got you, dude. No worries. Yeah, man, of course. The bird cam will always bring me back. I think what Shelly's referring to is my sock cam yesterday. I did a sock cam on my interview with Mark Yusko because he loves rocking some funky socks. So I had my Hey Arnold
RVSN going here. A big pull again, man.
So if you guys didn't check out that interview was really great, guys. It was supposed to be a 15-minute interview, and it turned into a 45-minute deep conversation. I would definitely check that out. If you're thinking about like alternative investments, check it out, guys. There's a lot more to the in-depth that he tries to give you guys. I know a lot of people try to kind of bust his balls because of the way he looks at certain things. But if you take a deeper look at how he's looking and approaching what blockchain is really going to do to technology, what the metaverse, what all this is coming to play, I think he's dead on, to tell you the truth.
There goes 50 on RVSN. Okay, so we're out there on RVSN. A little bit of a scalp here. Not huge, but something.
I'll put up the link for you.
We'll wait for this to set back up again. Cool. RVSN ended up working. 255 is the spot it stopped at, right? 255.
Yeah, and it seems like Mark Yusko enjoyed himself also. I mean, just seeing as he did retweet it, and he said literally, really enjoyed this conversation. And so jealous of the stock cam. I gave him a good idea, and I think he's going to start using it now. So you guys check that on out. I'll throw up the link in the chat, so if you guys want to watch that one, you guys can check it on out there. Like Dot Square saw it in very interesting interview. I thought so too. Honestly, I tried my best to try to get him to talk about different things that are coming, not just what has happened. And so at the very end, we start talking about the waves of technology. He talks about this often in a lot of his interviews. If you guys look into that, kind of understand that. That's the way I'm looking at it with EVs, right? How autonomous needs to happen, how these materials need to kind of get better. Charging station infrastructure plays. What is that? The waves of technology, right? We got a huge wave of EVs being mentioned. Fisker came out, Lucid came out. Everyone's talking about EVs. Guess what happens? The wave goes away from the actual manufacturers and moves into the components. Then I'll look for the wave to come out of the components and back into the EV wave. That's what they mean by the waves of technology. Check it on out, guys.
Real quick, Jason asking, do you guys trade crypto too? I
Not
would
here,
prefer
but
what?
not here at least.
Yeah. So I don't trade crypto. I own crypto. I hodl crypto and I mine crypto on my computer here. I do not trade it back and forth. I stick to that for stocks. I have a very, very small speculative position in crypto. I'm hoping we go to the moon together. I'm hoping Bitcoin goes to 500K at some point. We'll see if it happens. In the meantime, I'm going to trade stocks instead of trading crypto.
What does that show you? That shows me that you are, my friend, think about what asset allocation. It's not just only in stocks. It's not just the only way to make money. You have to diversify in the markets because that's what's going to go ahead and give you that ability to go ahead and get around volatility. So you're just not giving money away. You having an opportunity to make it back in other areas. I think too many people focus strictly on, let's say, even US markets, right? And they focus on only having their money in the US markets versus having money in emerging markets. This is what I'm starting to learn from. And I might actually start trading different markets. So stay tuned, guys. Money Mitch is going international, baby. What time does this show start daily? Anyone? No. Yeah. Well, we start up usually around 9:05, 9:07. Really just depends on pre-market prep. If you haven't checked out that show's from 8 to 9, where we start doing some macro to micro views, and then we get into live trading.
Yeah, the way I answer that question, Mitch, is I tell people that we start right after pre-market prep. The pre-market prep guys sometimes get a little heated and run a little bit over, and that's okay. That's okay. It's awesome content, but we start right after that. Great question.
All right, guys, taking a little bit of a shot here in Home Depot. Let me take a quick look at the SPY because I'm kind of worried.
It's pulling.
Oh yeah, you see that's going to keep me away from it, guys. I was thinking we would crush down. You guys want to know the number I gave? Joel called me out in this morning. You want to know the number I gave, Ryan? And he looked at me with that same face. I said, maybe 400 today?
On the SPY?
Yeah. And he gave me that face too, like, whoa.
So I don't, Mitch, I'm going to be honest with you. I guess I'll give you the Joel face. I don't think that that's important. I don't think that we're going there today, but here, just for context, here is SPY 400. And you know what? I'm actually going to share something with the group here. You guys are such a good group. I'm going to share something with you.
All right, let's do it.
So let me explain. So every day I run the happy hour show, and in the happy hour show, we always take a look at the SPY. One of the loyal contributors to Happy Hour 13, who you've seen in this chat before, he's a charting whiz. He's really, really good at the charts, and he constantly updates the charts that he has. And here's one of the charts that we look at every day for SPY. This is the one for yesterday, and you can see some of these key levels here that are marked down. 400. I believe that there is going to be a test of 400. It's not marked here with one of the lines. It's a nice round number. I just think that we go there. I think that we test this 405. I don't think this hammer is the bottom, and I think that we come down here and test 400. It's worth noting that the actual bear level, 20% from the highs here, is going to be 383.98. I'm not sure that we get there, but anything's possible. We'll see. So again, I don't know what day this is going to happen. I'm in the camp that this 405 and 400 level do get tested to the downside. In an ideal world, what I would like to see is a huge capitulation flush in the market where everyone's panicking, everyone's hitting the sell, and we get that candle down here to 400, and hopefully the buyers step back in. That's what I'd like to see. Not saying that is what we are going to see. So just thought I'd share that here. Shout out to 13, my man with his pretty charts.
Lovely mute button. But what I'm looking at is really, I think that we need one more big flush of the bulls to give up. I don't think the bulls have given up yet. I think, yeah, they've been pressured. Yeah, the stocks have been coming down, but there has been no letdown of just like completely like, okay, yeah, we're completely done on the long side. I think that has to happen first before we get the big ramp back up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there.
That's what I'm looking at. And it doesn't mean that it can happen now. It doesn't mean it happened today. You know, it could take a while. It could take a whole year or two to get to that level. But I definitely still continue to see leakage.
Okay. Mitch, can I have a couple of minutes to explain the thought process here on Lyft? Oh my God. Is this
Let's do it. Let's do it. Before you get into that, I will call out, we will see what happens in the SPY. We are seeing some quick drops here. Keeping an eye on AMD. AMD is now down towards 93, guys. At the open, it went to 98.50. It's already dropped back already about 5.3%. We'll see if it gets to 91.75 today. That's the level where it'll start going into the red. All right, Ryan, take on over, man. Let us know, what did you find in Lyft? First of all, I want to know, what was your thinking and why you wanted to take the trade? Second, I want to see, what was the technicals? What technicals gave you that reason? And then third, like I always say, is there anything fundamental that you were looking at? Because I always like to look at the three variables. So, hey, just kind of throwing those questions out there.
So let me help. Okay, let me try to hit all of those things. So first of all, and I'm going to plug the happy hour show again. We recently have been talking about a lot of these different stay-at-home versus reopening plays. Travel gets thrown in there. We talk about the cruise ships, we talk about the airlines, and we talk about the rideshare services. One of the conversations that we had recently was how much better Uber has been than Lyft in both the actual service itself and then as well as the stocks. This really hit home to me on my last trip to Detroit. So a couple of weeks ago, you folks remember, I went to the headquarters to work with the team, and my flight was really early, so I actually scheduled a taxi for that flight. When I landed in Detroit, I got my bag, I went to the rideshare area, and I called a Lyft. And when I called the Lyft, it said your approximate wait will be 15 to 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. That's kind of a long time, but whatever, we'll wait it out. Driver starts to approach the airport. I see on the little app, on the little map, the driver can't figure out where she's going. She eventually calls me and says, hey, I don't know where to go. And I was like, well, I'm not from here. I'm trying to get a ride from the airport to downtown. I can't tell you where to go. I'm not from here. And she said, well, neither am I. And that was puzzling to me. That was a puzzling answer that the person was doing Lyft, who wasn't from the area that she was. That just, to me, that was puzzling. So I said, okay, I canceled the ride. I opened up my Uber app, and then I called an Uber. Approximate wait time, 2 minutes. Dude got there in literally 2 minutes, knew exactly what to do, took us to our destination. Everything was fine. The other thing that I noticed is that the price for the Lyft was about $75, and the price for the Uber was like $36. And I said to myself, man, that is a massive, massive difference. Maybe it's just because, you know, I'm in a different city than when I normally call these for. So I did the whole trip in Detroit, and when I came back, I tried the same thing. I was at O'Hare in Chicago, the O'Hare airport, and I tried calling the Lyft, and the wait time wasn't obnoxious. It was only like 10 minutes or so. But the price was like $86. And I was like, man, I mean, yeah, sure, the company pays for it, but still got to be responsible. You can't just piss money away. So I was like, well, I'm going to price check this versus Uber. It was cheaper the last time. I'll try this again. I open up the Uber app, a wait time again, a little bit shorter, and the price was like $38, $39. And I was like, okay, there is a massive divergence here in the price. I'm not going to use Lyft anymore. I'm just going to order the Uber. I ordered the Uber. Driver was super nice, got me back. Everything was fine. Next couple of days, I was talking to one of my coworkers who uses Uber Eats quite a bit to order food for themselves. And I said to myself, I was like, you know, I'm not a big delivery guy. I'm kind of a cheapo. I would rather go pick it up, maybe walk, get some exercise, maybe a nice little drive, go pick the food up myself, save some money, the whole 9 yards. So I decided to investigate and see what's the big deal here with Uber Eats. So I went to the Google Play Store and I searched for Uber Eats, and there's no app for Uber Eats. I then realized that Uber Eats was actually contained within the Uber app. And so when I went in there and I started browsing, I also had the realization that this app is already set up for me to order food. I use the app for rideshare. It's already got my credit card. All I have to do is click a couple of different buttons and I can order food here. And I was like, that's really, really smart. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think Lyft has that. They of course do not have that. So fast forward a little bit here to earnings. Some of these stocks are under pressure. There's always the talk of Lyft and Uber. And I just thought to myself, you know what? A lot of these stocks are getting hit. And sometimes you get some of these outsized moves, right? So if a stock reports a bad report, like to take a look at Netflix, for example, right? Bad numbers really, really got crushed. DocuSign a number of months ago really, really got crushed. And I thought to myself, of these two companies, of Uber and Lyft, which one is likely to have a worse report? And based on my personal experience, based on the discussion that I had with other traders in our happy hour show that we do every single day for Benzinga Pro users, going over the whole thing with Uber Eats, the wait time, all of that, it really kind of all pointed in the same direction. I really think Lyft is the weaker of the two. And I think that this earnings print might be a time to take advantage of that. So I was like, okay, now let's position for this particular print. So first of all, I've got a very, very specific reason for wanting to take this trade. And this is short term. I'm literally trying to capture the binary event. This is not a swing trade. This is not like an investment or anything. This is a short-term trade designed to capture the binary event. So what do you do when you're trying to have a short-term trade that's either going to be all or nothing? Define your risk ahead of the trade. There was no way I was going to short shares ahead of an earnings print, but I absolutely will buy puts. So I took a look at the option chain. I took a look at where some of the open interest was. I took a look at the prices. I took a look at the actual chart here. And I said to myself, okay, well, 30 is this round number here that we're approaching. I think it's going to break that. I looked at the 31, the 30, the 29, and I think the 29 and a half. Yeah, the 29 and a half puts, because I knew I wanted to play this to the downside, and I settled on the 29. When I play these, I like to have the contract as close to the price as possible, because you're going to get more appreciation on that premium the closer you are to where the price is. And the contracts were only like $1.13 a piece. I was like, I can grab several of these and not really care, even if this trade doesn't work. All right. So looking at the chart here, I'm thinking, well, in a really crazy situation, maybe we do go down here and test 21. 15 seems out of reach. That would literally be a 50% haircut from the print. I really don't think we're going to get that, but maybe if things are really bad, maybe we come down here and test 22. Even if we don't, a break below 30 is likely, and a break below 29 means that these puts are going to be in the money. So I settled on the 29 puts. Now, as soon as the print came out, the most interesting thing, in fact, I think we can see this on the chart. The most interesting thing is that initially this traded up, right? So we closed right around just under 31. This traded up to $33. And I said to myself, as this was happening, well, those contracts are probably going to expire worthless. And I moved to a different stock. I came back later in the happy hour because someone was like, hey, you better check out Lyft. And I saw it was moving down to 29. I was like, okay, I selected the right strike. And then the waterfall came, right? It absolutely got destroyed. And I was thinking, well, because I have the 29, my contracts are going to be appreciating quite a bit. If I had the 25s, it would have been a little hairy there for a little bit. Still would have ended up working, but because I had the 29s, I get even more appreciation on that. So Mitch, does that's really the whole thesis here. It was a combination of the discussion that I had with other people that follow the market, my own personal experience, the drastic difference in the service, the quality of the service, and then ultimately the price in the service. And then the fact that a lot of these stocks are really, really struggling at earnings prints. So there's your thesis.
Hey, I wanted to do some real life testing, so Ryan's talking about it. So I just did a little testing action here on this. I don't know why it's not picking it up right now. The focus isn't coming in here. But I'll read it to you guys. So for here to go into the Denver airport, it's pretty far from here, but it'd be $93 on Lyft, and then for Uber it would be $114. And so actually Uber is more expensive where I'm at. And so what does this show us? I think what you're really pointing at, Ryan, is what, to me, it just shows that they're missing drivers on both sides, probably. That they're having labor issues. Labor issues where they're not having the drivers when they need them. And when they need them, what are they doing? They're just racking up that price to the point where it gets extreme. Where I'm really concerned is when things really kind of raise those rates, right? Like let's say New Year's or something like that, or July 4th. Guys, forget about using Uber or Lyft on July 4th. It's probably going to be literally 10 times, 15 times the normal fares. And so you don't want to be a part of that. I have been scanned by that before. In New Year's, I was like, oh, yeah, just take an Uber, right? I'll go downtown. I'm going to go drink. I'm going to be a little bit responsible. I'm going to take an Uber. It's normally a $20 ride from where I used to be in college. And this is when I was in college. So I didn't have the most money, right? I went from paying $20 to paying $170 for that trip, that same trip. So I don't want to see people get caught in that too. So just be careful out there.
And
right
Mitch,
now.
so you just gave me a great idea. So I just went to go test this myself here. The Uber to O'Hare, I've got a 7-minute wait, and it's $29.98. The Lyft to O'Hare from where I'm at right now has a 5-minute wait, and the price is $31.34. So it's very, very comparable. And the wait times are pretty much negligible. What's interesting here is that when I called the Lyft the last time that I was in Chicago when I did this, it was a Friday night at 10 p.m. What else is happening at Friday night on 10 p.m.? A lot of people out at the bars, right? A lot of people, going out, doing things. I see it in the chat here. Oh, yes, surge rate, says Missy. That's exactly what I think happened. And what happened was the surge was so much higher on one of them that I opted to go with the other. So, I mean, to me, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. This all happened just because of my own personal experience. Clearly, these rates are changing around. Mitch, I can't even imagine trying to call an Uber or a Lyft on the 4th of July. I am literally like getting PTSD just thinking about that.
Yeah, no. Honestly,
no
I just
way.
it won't even come to my mind. I just want to save people some money. Definitely, I don't want to see people get crushed there. I am taking a little bit of a shot in Home Depot here, guys. I did start sizing in. I did put it in the chat while Ryan was talking. Didn't want to interrupt him in his story there. I have an average around 305.44 right now. I'm looking for this to hold 305 pullbacks. It keeps coming towards that level and then rejecting to go below that. Could stop me out right here. The big thing is I'm using the low of the candle from 1009, which is 304.77. If it breaks to that, I mean, we just got to get out. But I'm looking for a recovery of VWAP here. We'll see what happens there, guys.
Beach Bum, have you checked the train Amtrak from Detroit to Chicago? Yes, it's actually called the Wolverine line. So, really quick,
These are usually expensive, man.
It's like $80 round trip. The last time that I took it. The only problem with the train is that it takes a long time. Like
takes a long time.
So Mitch, so I need to travel from where I live to Union Station, which is downtown in the Loop. That's 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. Could be up to 2 hours if it's rush hour. And then I have to get on the train and travel by train to Detroit. That's 4+ hours. So you're talking about 5 to 6 to 7 hours, depending on traffic, versus maybe a 2.5 hour total trip via the plane, because the flight's a puddle jump. It's like 50 minutes or something. Like it's less than an hour, literally. So the train it's comfortable though. It's comfortable. It's not bad. The train is really, really not bad. If time is not something that's important, the train is definitely the way to go.
All right, there you guys. A small little stop out there in Home Depot. I didn't lose much, less than $20 there, but gave myself a shot. That's all you can do sometimes. It's been one of those days in the market, at least. I'm going to show you guys the SPY. Just been weak. And what was it? It's been a tech wreck, guys. Did you guys hear me in pre-market? Tech wreck? Oh, there it is, guys. Now the question is, do we find a bounce at the Fed meeting? Do we all of a sudden just start ramping on up? That's what we're going to watch to see what happens here. But at least from the morning and from 9 a.m., it's just been leakage. Tesla has been coming down fast, just to kind of show you guys some of the bigger
Below
stocks.
900 now.
Apple's the one that's holding on. If Apple goes into the red below 159.15, that's when I'll really start being like, look out. But
nice trade, Kevin. 25.
There you go, Kevin Wayne.
450.
You know what we call that? We call
Money
that
drop?
a money drop, baby. Let's go. That's what I like to see, man. Hey, money all around, guys. I see you guys. Let's go, guys. Hit that like button. Let's see what's going on out there. And a little confetti action. Oh, no, that's not even the confetti action. Why is it showing subscribe? It's on the wrong thing. Let's keep going, guys. Let's go. Who's on fire? Who wants to flex? I want to see someone flex in the chat. Who's got a trade for us, guys? Because I'm not finding one today.
A BTTX here, maybe above 194. We'll see if this can get going. This really needs some more volume, though.
All right.
LTHM really kind of hanging out from where we took a look at it in pre-market. Nothing really going there yet.
Have you looked at SMG today? That's an interesting stock to look
Isn't
at.
that a Holly call from yesterday?
Dude, and we called it out pretty good. I mean, I didn't take this one because of the spread, but I said, look for that 100 to be the risk spot. Where did this stock go yesterday? It went to 99.67 really quickly, just recovery, just duck, and then right back above that whole dollar. That's why I like that 100. You could see it here. It was reacting like that. You had gotten one wick down below there. You got another wick and then a quick recovery. It's already back to almost that 120 area that we were looking at. So if you were able to nail that one, hey, power to you. I know it wasn't brought up by me, but I was just looking at the levels. Good job, Holly. Media Horde says, I'm back in SMG after a year off. Hey, there you go. That's what you got to do sometimes. Got to take a year off and then come back to a stock. Don't just fall in love with it and keep it like me. Sometimes you get stuck with one like Jeannie. You don't want to do that. Don't fall in love with the stocks, even though it could be a good story. One of the things we don't want to do is get married to a stock.
Got that right.
My puts in Baba yesterday, banked today. Good job, Diesel. I can't blame you for going for that one. Would you look at XPD, EXPD? I don't know that one, but I'll take a look.
Yeah, I don't think I know that. At first I thought Expedia, but
that's exactly what I went to. I went for EXPE, but here you go. It's dude, the name doesn't even fit in my
non-asset based third party logistics provider.
Do you see this? Like the name doesn't even fit in my window. I have to go full screen to put the name up.
Expeditors International of Washington Incorporated.
Bro, could you think of a longer name to name your company? You might as well just have called it the Expeditors International of Washington of the United States of America in Boston. Like they just threw that whole little extra there. They're like, we're in Washington. Why not take advantage? International.
Yeah, the first company that throws in anti-disestablishmentarianism into their name is going to need to get slapped around a little bit because that's just being annoying. Let's face it. Oh my God. Colgate on the rise. Gary saying Colgate on the rise. Colgate sweeps there, by the way. Lots of Colgate sweeps.
What's Colgate's thing? It's CL, right?
CL,
right? There you go. Yeah, nice little move off the monthly support. I can already see its monthly support because I don't even need to look at it. Look how clean this chart looks on a monthly compared to a daily or a weekly. Think that when you're getting downtimes in the market, look at those monthlies, guys. They're going to give you a lot of levels to go off of. You can see CL. 75 is probably that point where you're seeing a lot of volume come back in. And then you're seeing some stepping up from some bigger traders. And there's a couple of high moves up here, and it quickly came back down. So it's trying to maybe fill that gap that you got from around 77 to about, what do we got, 80, 23 around there? John Lewis said, I like EXPD on monthly. Good call. Hey, Maybe we don't see it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It has monthly support at 100, has pulled back. I just don't know anything about the stock, so I'm not even going to comment. I'll enjoy my comment on the long name there.
There was someone else that wanted a 8-ball. I think it wasn't Jay Rice. It might have been Jay Wild. It was a while. It was right at the start here. Speak up if Jay Wild, was that you that wanted the 8-ball on the S&P or the semiconductors? I'd be happy to do that for you. BTTX here, 95, big spot here. BTTX looks like it's trying to take this out. High of the day is 97. Took that spot out. Here we are at 97. Might try a little bit here. Let's see. Through 97 here, printing 98. It's interesting. BTTX, let's see if we can pop here. Brian, no, man.
All right, just dealing with the roadmap team over here, guys. You know how it is. We keep it going here in Benzinga. All right, let's take a look at the SPY. What are we getting? We finally getting a bounce? Finally, a little bounce.
Here we go for 2. BTTX at 2 here. Let's see if it could. Their big offer here at 2. Let's see if BTTX can take that out here.
BTTX.
This is run recently. This was yesterday in play. They're hitting that offer. We're popping here, folks. There we go. We're through. Nice little trade here through 197.
I think this is a SPAC. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
The name sounds familiar for me.
Okay, Ryan. Yes, sir. So Jay Wild. Okay, so SOX. So I can't ask it SOXL or SOXS. We have to come up with it. We have to work that in a different way, but I'd be happy to do that for you. Let me think about that. And then BNZB. I can never get your name right, dude. I'm sorry. You want Fastly. All right, so we'll do both of those here. So let's start with Fastly. That one's pretty cut and dry. Will Fastly go up on earnings today?
Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
Come
what
on.
does it say? What does it say? Doesn't want to read it for us.
Why won't it focus, Mitch?
I don't know, man. Mine's been doing it too. And I got a DSLR, so I can imagine yours. It's probably not going to be focusing out.
It says cannot predict now. Okay.
Oh,
well,
cannot predict, guys. Cannot predict.
That's kind of a bummer. Okay.
That's a cop out.
Will SOXL work today? Will SOXL work to the upside today, 8-ball? Tell us.
All right, guys.
Can I get a full screen here again, Mitch, real quick?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Boom.
Ask again later. Okay, the 8-ball is obviously on break right now. So
it's pulling the analyst move.
Say again?
It's pulling the analyst move.
It's
saying,
the analyst
I
move.
need to see the earnings first, and then I'll give you the analyst rating.
Okay. All right, BNZB. So from now on, I'm calling you BZB trading. That's it. Because I'm not going to indulge in you intentionally creating a ridiculous name to hear the personalities on YouTube butcher it left and right and be able to make fun of them. From now on, you are BZB trading. Tom has figured out the game. Tom, you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get one past Tom. Let me just say that. Tom, I'm glad you're here.
The magic 8-ball, man. The magic 8-ball. All right.
What's interesting here, I'm looking at some of the bigger cap stocks now. We had that move on Apple out of the open. Let me actually pull it up here on the chart so I don't have to just look at something that you guys aren't looking at. AAPL. We had a nice little move there out of the open. Looked like we were going to be trading up. Gave all of that back here. We're pretty much back to unch, only up 43 cents on the day. Again, I think that the big trades from these or the the better trade to take, I think, is going to be in the afternoon when we get some of those Fed decisions. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm worried about some of this chop and this back and forth.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on out there, guys. I got to give you guys the Hendricks cam because Hendricks is over here just hanging out. And I feel like this market is just like that. I feel like him today, just waiting for the Fed.
He's waiting to get fed, more like.
Yeah, that's really what it is. For some reason, my phone logged out, so I had to take a picture.
I got to make sure I closed out of those Uber apps and stuff.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're calling it Uber.
Yeah, because it turns your GPS on and it ruins your battery.
Yeah, it does. Either that or we'll order an expensive Uber on accident.
Hey, where's Charlie? Buddy's back. Buddy, come here. You were being summoned. Were you watching the birds, little guy? Hey, little guy. You were being summoned. The group, look, I know. Look at the camera. He's like, no, I'm just going to sit here. Look at Buddy.
Hanging out, guys.
Hey,
hanging out.
The camera. They were summoning you. Where's Shelly? She missed Buddy. He's right here now. He's being all sweet. He was watching birds. You were watching birds, weren't you? Got a very fluffy tummy, too.
All right, so it looks like Stress Relief is asking about Caterpillar, and I actually like this stock. I talked about how I like these stocks towards the end of the year. Talked about them in early March when they were starting to pop, and that was all based on DE showing some strength. Then Caterpillar kind of followed through and then eventually ripped out. Has pulled back. I love this 210 zone to try to get back in there. So I would look for a retrace into there, but it does look strong today, and you can look at DE. Looked interesting. I was going to see if it was starting to push towards the close here. But I do like these. Why? Because I feel like you're going to get a lot of infrastructure talk in midterms. And so I really would be looking at these to have a nice run going into Q3 and Q4. That's the way I looked at it in March, and I'm just going to continue to that view. So we'll see what happens there.
You know, it's interesting here. Airbnb, they reported good earnings yesterday. They traded up and then kind of settled about midway of that range. Tried to pop here today and came right back to that same middle of that range. 150 seems to be a pretty clear spot here for Airbnb. I'd like to see what this stock does after we get the Fed announcement. See if we can actually push higher here. That would be I'd be interested in that one. These have pretty good options too. Pretty liquid on these contracts here.
Dylan saying that he said, forget Caterpillar. I just quit that company to day trade full time. There you go, man. Power to you, man. If you're able to get away from Caterpillar and trade full time and make your money, hey, best wishes out to you. All right, we'll see what's going on. Right now, I'm just seeing leakage all around. And I'm seeing, a little bounce, but it's not strong. It's not strong at all right now, at least from what I'm seeing. AMD is trying to come back to VWAP. If you want to take a look at that above 95s, if you're just bullish on AMD here, you can take a look at that. I'm definitely not going to be trading it towards the upside because I thought it would come down towards this line by the end of the day. We'll see what happens now. We did retrace as far down as 92.61, and 91.65s would have got us in the red. We'll see what happens today.
Keith saying Ryan is a cat daddy, join the club. Keith, I live in a building that only allows cats right now. I'm an immense animal lover. If I had my greenhouse in Montana, you'd be seeing a bunch of dogs, cats, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely love animals.
We're gonna get that happen. We're gonna get that happen, right?
Oh,
we need to open the Benzinga office in Minnesota or something like that. Montana.
Don't you worry about that. It's going to happen.
It ain't far from me.
No, I know. Mitch, you and I could be hanging out quite a bit. Beach Bum.
I love it over there too.
Do you guys want to start talking about how to recession-proof your portfolios now? Yes, Beach Bum, that's actually great. You should have already been thinking about that. We actually talk a lot about potential recession and longer-term portfolio trades on the happy hour. Again, guys, another reason to join Benzinga Pro and join that happy hour. Really great stuff from a bunch of great traders. One of the things, I will say this, though, one of the things is that think about the companies that you're buying. If they're exposed to the consumer during a recession, those stocks are probably going to lag. they're probably going to hurt. When the consumer doesn't have the money to spend or is choosing not to spend more money, companies that have big exposure to the consumer are going to end up suffering in that regard. You've heard me talk about Chara quite a bit here, which I'm down on. Chara is not exposed to the consumer. Their customer is the utility itself, power companies. It doesn't matter if there's a recession, people still need power. Businesses still need power. So I know it's a very simplistic thing, but start there. If the stock that you have has massive exposure to the consumer, it's likely to get hurt in a recession.
Boom.
Apple pulling back here. Oh, the whole market is pulling
Goes
back.
Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
But so, Mitch, weren't we kind of expecting this? I feel like we talked about this, that the market is likely to be choppy until this decision. So before 2 p.m. here today, we're likely to see moves back and forth like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that, you have an expected outlook on the Fed. You got also a lot of optimism for those earnings reports that came in last night. I think everyone saw AMD's report and was like, "Yep, I'm just gonna go buy in tech today. AMD's looking strong. We're back in tech." That's what I'm saying. I think that's where people are getting it wrong. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to call the bottom on these stocks versus trying to wait until you actually see consistent gains hold. That's what I don't see on the charts. And every time we've been seeing a nice push up, like even on Tesla, right? Tesla pushed on back past the 1,000. It started pushing. It started going towards 1,100. And then what happened? Knockdown right below those levels. And so what does that show me? Hey, guys, I think too many people are quick to the gun on the upside and not too many people are still short. So what does that show me? The market likes to hurt where it can hurt the most, and most are going to buy the dip strategy and keep trying to do this and giving up gains, giving up gains, giving up gains, giving up gains. That's where it gets dangerous if we keep playing this game. And that's why I'm even thinking about cutting Twitter today, guys. I've been holding this for close to a week now, guys, more than a week. So I'm taking a look at it to see what happens here. But if it doesn't hold, let's say like 48.50 today, I'm just going to cut the Twitter because it's just giving me the look towards the downside. And I got to give myself a potential to get the gains, but also understand that, hey, if the stock doesn't go, so should we. Cats, yeah, man. I have both. I have cat and dog. I mean, I think the first thing I got is a cat, so I can't blame Ryan for going for the cat. I was in like dorms, and to tell you the truth, cats weren't even allowed there, Ryan. I just like the cats because you know why? Because Hendrix used to hide anytime the maintenance man came. He would just be like.
He did your job of hiding him for you. I love it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, I like with a dog, you can't hide it. They want to say hi. They want to be all
they're
friendly.
wagging their tail. They're barking. They're
barking. Exactly. The cat, he just went in the closet and hid, or went underneath the bed and hid. And so I got away with it for like a year and a half. So I was like, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Hendrix sounds cool.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude.
He's a dude. Hendrix sounds pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he definitely is. The one thing I say with cats is get them used to people early, and then that helps a lot.
Tom, this is a great point that you're bringing up here. We get, I see a lot of people talking about this. I'm totally with you.
Yeah, I've been hearing this conversation too.
Yeah,
and I don't blame you for mentioning this, Tom. Mention it. That's what it's all about, guys. If you guys are against my views, don't see that as a wrong thing to mention. But mention it with some things like this, right? So upside very limited. Deal won't close for months and months. It could close. Doesn't mean that it can't close. I don't think it has to take months for it to close. It could close earlier. My biggest thing was that I think that you're going to see what Elon admit that he's not taking it private, that he's going to keep it public. And I think that right there could make it go way higher than the 53 or 54 as some people are looking at. I think it could go up to 60 in like a day or two. So if that's being mentioned. And you did see rumors of that being mentioned also. Why? Because I think at the end of the day, yes, I think he wants to take it private so he can have more control. But I also think that he's going to realize that, hey, if I leave it public, the actual price might rise higher and thus give him the return that he's looking for. I think he's fighting right now if he's going to do private or public. And the original thoughts were taking it private, but I think if it stays public, it can have a big upside. And I'm in at 46, so I haven't gotten really pressured. I already made a decent gain on it. I sold half the shares, so I'm taking a look at it, and it's been holding really, really well. You guys see this line here, the 38.2 retracement? That's from the breakout, and it's been holding the fibs that well that I've been staying in it until it breaks the fibs and closes below that. I'm going to stay in it.
Hawaii Rye. Are you Hawaiian Ryan? It's a cool name. I'm just wondering if I've actually met this person before. I know Ryan from Hawaii, who's awesome. Does anyone watch the VIX and compare it to SPY? I keep the VIX on my screen every day. I watch the VIX every single day. I don't know what you mean by comparing it to SPY. Basically, if there are certain, I try to watch for patterns in the VIX. So there's certain levels where if the VIX is trading above that level, or if the VIX is printing above that level, then I might be a little bit more risk off versus when the VIX is really low, I'm definitely risk on. I might not be liable to close positions on a little bit of a pullback. So there's things that I look at, but I wouldn't say that I directly compare it to the SPY. I'd like to hear how you do that.
All right.
You're new, brother.
Guys.
Welcome, my man. Welcome.
All right. So I have been looking to see if Starbucks could get up towards that 81. Today got towards 80, 81. We've been looking for 81 for a short. That thing's back down to 78. I'm going to keep watching Starbucks to see if it can come back there. I do want to short Starbucks for the long term, but we'll see what happens. It needs to give me a pop up, back up above 81 for me to get short on it. ACON here, curling back up here, looking like it's trying to make a run at this 233 high. Just took out a seller at 219. We'll see if it keeps moving here. ACON long here from 219, stops pretty close. I'd say 215, 216. I'm not going to let this go red on me very much. Really need this to get gearing. I like what I'm seeing down here with this volume that's expanding, but this needs to keep happening for this to push higher. Here we go, 221. Let's see if we can keep pushing up here. Day high here on ACON, 233. So let's see if we can make a run towards that day high. All right, just being patient here, guys. I'm seeing a lot of kind of this sideways action here. It doesn't mean that we're going up. Doesn't mean we're going down. I think the big thing I'm watching also is Apple. Apple's been trying to hold on today. It's actually been looking way better than the market overall. So I'm keeping an eye on Apple to see if Tesla also gets green or something like that. Sideways action in Tesla. But right now, Apple is the only one that it seems like, at least from the bigger boys, that's hanging on. Let me take a look at the SPY overall. Pull the capitalization here. Big cap stocks.
Real quick. Took the loss there on ACON. Very, very small loss. No big deal. Waiting for this to set up again. So out of it right now. Would love to see it set up through 220 and make a run at that high.
Of course, let's take a look at some of the bigger stocks in the market right now. Apple up, but Microsoft down, Google down, Amazon down. Amazon's down to 23.90s, guys. That's just worrisome itself. Reason why is like everybody, right? A lot of people did what? They start their portfolio with FANG, and that has not been the trade this year. That's for sure. Netflix getting destroyed, Facebook getting destroyed, Amazon getting destroyed has not been the trade, right?
Yeah. A lot of these stocks that they're really high flyers. Tom was mentioning Carvana in the chat here. Look at that chart. Do you want to talk about a chart that's destroyed? Mitch, pull up Carvana.
We can definitely pull it up.
Talk about a chart that's destroyed. A lot of these stocks that were just really, really inflated, starting to come back to earth now, and that's good. That's what we need, frankly. I would love to see the value buyers want to step back in here again on some of these names. So let's have them come back in.
Yeah, the big thing with Carvana, I think that's hurting it. It's not necessarily that cars inflation has gone away, but necessarily I think that it's the expenditure and the consumer spending that you're slowly seeing leaking away and not wanting to go ahead and make some big purchases. And why? Because inflation's so high that it's hard to make some big purchases right now.
Yeah.
So Carvana is one thing I can say is it looks like the car is stuck in the vending machine and you got to shake it out. You got to shake it out.
Hey, Keith, we love hearing that, man. We try to make this educational. We try to make it personable. We try to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Trading can be stressful. We try to ease that as much as we can. By the way, ACON did end up working here, so bummer that I took a loss too early. Too tight of a stop on that. But we're pushing now here. 233 again is that day high here. We'll see if we can end up we'll see if we can get going here. Excuse me.
The old Biden trick. Looks like BNZNB
No,
trading.
it's BNZ. I can't even remember now. BZB. God, I hate that.
I got
hate
you,
your
Ryan.
name, dude.
I got you, Ryan. It's BNZNB. That's what I think you throw the Z in there really quickly. So it's BNZNB trading. It's calling the Biden's coming in 30 minutes. We know that's probably going to take an hour, though, because Biden's always late. That man's as late as probably some Spanish people, I'm Spanish, so, I know how it is when we show up. We say, we're going to be there in 30 minutes. I'll be there in 30 minutes. That means I'll be there like in an hour and a half, but we'll see what happens. Biden, what are you going to do? You going to turn this market around? Yeah, it takes him a little while to get up there to the podium, He likes being late. I think he does it on purpose. He's like, you know what? Tell him 30 minutes. I'll be back out there in an hour.
Hey, looks like Frederick, you did a quick scalp on Acon. Great job. Oh, right through. I looked up. I looked away from it. Oh.
Frederick got the money.
Well, at least you guys hit it. I missed it, but hey, this is all about the group here. I made some money on some other trades today, so no big deal. Good stuff here, though. Nice spot there, by the way.
Yeah, it looks like a market that I don't want to be giving money up to. So what am I doing now?
I don't want to exactly. I don't want to be donating.
I just stopped. I feel like there's just too much indecision in this market right now for me to be taking opportunities. So what do? We start taking a deeper dive. We can take a deeper look at maybe some swing trades or something like that, investments out there, and taking a look at some different types of stocks, right? One thing that definitely has come out of favor is gold. Gold, yeah. It had its move probably of the, I'm going to go on a limb here, probably of the century. But we'll see what happens. I mean, gold really broke out. I mean, I remember we were looking at this down here and it just took off. And now it's almost all the way back down there. And this is the index that I use for gold. So you can see there, it's definitely giving back most of the gains. All right, Upstart is having an upstart kind of day. Let's take a look there. UPST. Yeah, it's starting up. Starting up there. Nice little bottoming action around the 80s, up there towards 91. It doesn't look too bad, but it hasn't held any of these pushbacks. So there's too many of these charts that just look like this.
Acon through 35. Sorry, it's moving.
Hey, my man sees a mover. Call that out, man.
Acon, it was right through that spot here, right through that spot at 233 and 235. There was a big seller there. I feel like this wants to go higher here, but it's not quite pushing yet. So we'll see. I noticed a couple of other people got the scalp on this earlier. It's good stuff, folks.
All right, Redbox trying to hold the 7 for a breakout again above 7. We'll see if it can actually move above that 7. Taking a look at it, but just not seeing much for it to kind of really rip on out. Did see some nice volume come in around the 680s and 670s. So if you want to take a look at that level, I can't blame you for it. I'm looking for a move back above 710 for it to get towards 730s. But like always, this could just give up all the gains here.
Looking around here, folks. Acon's still one of the better things that we see here, but it's extended. It's extended and it pulls, so you just got to be careful if you're trading the breaks there. 237's falling. There looks like they're taking it here. New highs, Acon. Good stuff, especially if you guys held that. Good stuff.
I see you dancing on the. You doing some Akon?
Oh, yeah.
I see you whining on the dance floor.
Took me a sec to get that there, Nick, but touche.
Now they got me. I'm locked up in Akon. Don't get locked up in Akon.
Oh, man.
You guys know. You guys know I'm having too much fun trying to enjoy the day, and that's the only way I know, man. Akon trying to get on up there, 234s. We'll see if it can continue. I was looking at Red Box. How's the Blue Apron today? Blue Apron is crashing back down, so could be something to take a look at toward the downside action. As you saw pop, and now it's starting to close that daily gap right back down.
Hey, Mitch, why don't you check out AR there? I believe that's a company headquartered based in Denver. Ticker AR. We're getting asked about that by Joe. Can you check out AR Antero Resources as long-term? This is based in Denver, engages in the exploration and the production of natural gas and natural gas liquids in the United States and Canada. So this is going to be natty gas play, energy play. Headquartered in Denver, though. This is right up your alley.
Yeah, man. I'll have to go ahead and find out what they do here specifically, if it's just a corporate headquarters, but might have to go check it out. It doesn't look bad holding the pullbacks on the hourly. I would look for maybe a little deeper pullback towards 37.23s, but above 38.25s is where it should get another move. It did go up there today for a second. It went up to 38.30s, and you can see how it did a little fake out above that 38.25. So I would look for closes above 38.30s to give us that strength back above. A lot of times I look for hourly pullbacks, guys. Don't be afraid that when you see a stock that was looking really good pre-market, it pulls back to the hourly and then eventually comes right back to the resistance. A lot of people miss these moves because they're looking at 15 minutes and 5 minutes. And then what do they see? They see a bunch of red on the screen, but really on the hourly, it just looks like a smaller candle here than all that red. And you can catch that bottom. And then next thing you know, it's right back up. Spy down to 414 there. It doesn't want to hold the 415s there. We'll see what happens if Biden can bring us back. But right now, it's looking like we are looking a little bit weaker in the SPY. And with that being mentioned, I'll keep watching the AMD get to 91.75, where I don't think anybody agreed with me this morning. It was probably going to.
Stress relief. I was watching that there. BTTX. The spot seemed to be at 205. They cleared out that seller at 205. Looks to be a refresh seller there. But this thing definitely, it's trading like it wants higher. That volume's been expanding. If that continues to expand and pops the top off here, maybe we can test 245 from yesterday. Stress relief. Good spot there. Watching that.
All right, we'll see what happens on that Chegg Life. I like how they put the blame.
I was talking about BTTX, but Chegg curling too here. That's an interesting chart.
Yeah, Chegg was funny because I heard that they were blaming the college students, and they were like, "You darn college students ruining our revenue." No, more like Chegg. You've been taking all our money, man, and we finally had enough. Keith talking about, I had you more of a Montague Springs fan than a big city. I was actually there last weekend. I went to the Cave of the Winds. If you guys never been to the Cave of the Winds in Colorado Springs, check that out. And then, of course, go get a burger in Montague Springs and then play some video games in the arcade there. They have a penny arcade that's really cool. Boom.
BTTX, interesting here. There's a big seller there at 10 that they're trying to snap. Now, it's been yanked back here a number of times, so be careful if you're going to take this. Might actually be a little bit safer to buy these pulls, but big spot there, 210 next spot here. They move the offer down now to 207.
All right, we'll see what's going on out there, guys. How are you guys doing out in the market today? Let us know if you guys want a stock to check on out there. Looks like someone's talking about BTTX. We'll keep on watch on that. We're talking about it right now. We're looking at the Acon. I just got to keep doing it like it's the Akon, the artist, because I don't know. That's just keeps popping in my head. LTHM saying that someone's seeing a pullback on that one. Yeah, it's coming back. It just got above VWAP. I would look for a VWAP bounce. Yeah, you already got it. It already kind of did it here. I'll show you guys here. So a lot of times I look for this move, right? And so to me, the VWAP is the orange line. I'm going to try to make it thicker here for us here. Let's go towards the VWAP. Let's make it a little bit thicker line here so you guys can see it. That's the orange line here for you. And so a lot of times what I look for is a stock to come above the VWAP, like you get it here, and then come back and hold it. And so you see some tick down belows here, but then when it comes back above here, it actually holds it on this pullback right on this candle. That shows me that bullish sign. That's where I like to get in there. And then you can use maybe these lows as your risk. We'll see what happens on LTHM. How's the LAC? LAC hasn't hold that VWAP. I would look for that to break above 2670 if I'm looking for this to continue. MP maybe. MP still holding back there also. PLL also not into the green just yet. Just still sideways here, guys. It's just been sideways action here from about 10:15 on. We haven't done anything, really. We're like at the same price level. So just be careful out there, guys. A lot of chop in between this. Netflix, a lot of downside ahead. Yeah, Netflix is one that I think is falling into what? The old brand kind of thing that I'm starting to see. I think that there's certain brands that are going to start losing their pizzazz. I know that some people would think I'm crazy to think of certain things like this, but I just feel like the consumer is really changing. And why are they changing? Because of also the environment that's around. A lot of exclusivity stuff. A lot of people trying to do things that are new, not old. Like I think Netflix is viewed as the oldest kind of streaming service. And I think that a lot of people are just kind of tired of what Netflix has to offer and are willing to try something new. So they go to Disney Plus, they go to Discovery Plus, they go to Apple TV. They're trying out Prime Video. They're trying out different things because it's just kind of a dying brand in my eyes. The growth has gone to the extent that it's saturated, and now from that saturation, I think you start seeing weakening trends. Yes, can Netflix come back? Yes, but I don't think it's personally. I don't think it's ever going to come back towards that high of above, let's say 700, where you got 799. I don't think it ever gets back there. All right, looks like Hendricks wants out. He's knocking on the door and meowing at me, so I'll be right back.
gotta listen to Hendricks. One of the things I'm watching here is ACON. I know we were just talking about this. It's doing exactly what it should be doing right now. It is consolidating here in this area. That's great to see. 240, clearly a spot there, big seller there. We'll see if that can end up getting taken out. We are consolidating here, though. I have no position in this. Full disclosure, I am not in this stock right now. I'd be looking to trade a break or see if I can actually feel good about buying the pullback.
Where's Biden, man? Isn't he supposed to come on at 11? Nah, he'll probably be late. Let's be honest. I might have to pull it up here so I can be ready if he does come on. We can maybe even just pull him into the stream. There's nothing wrong with us pulling it up here. If you guys don't know where that usually goes live on, that's always on whitehouse.gov/live. And a lot of times we put that things up. But yeah, he's supposed to make comments on economical growth, jobs, and deficit reduction. Oh, what is he going to say? I'm the best president ever. I brought back all these jobs. Dude, that was COVID. Don't give yourself on the pat on the back for nothing you did. That's just how it is, man.
Yeah, no, I
hate that one. That's the one that I hate the most, seeing that tweet right there. I see that tweet all the time because I follow the POTUS account, so I see that tweet all the time. Oh, I brought back all these jobs. I'm the best president ever for jobs. Guys, pat me on the back.
No comment. None at all. I'm waiting for the Fed minutes. That's what I'm waiting for at this point.
Hey, what can I say? You guys know I don't hold back. Either side, right, left. Oh, I'm woke. Let's go. Let's go. What are we seeing out there, guys? I'm starting to see some rise in some stocks. HD coming back through VWAP, looking interesting for me, but I'm leaving it alone now. I'm just going to keep watching to see if we can actually get some moves to continue here into the green. Now, what is in the green right now? Industrials, consumer defensives, communication services, and utilities leading the day today, guys. If you want to take a look at something that is strong right now, I'd take a look at Duke. Duke taking off there. NEE near the VWAP. Let's take a look at if we can find a laggard type of trade here. Southern Company taking off also. Dominion Energy having a good day. SREs, maybe the one that's closest towards the VWAP. Their AEP doing well today. Excel, this is one that I gave back a while back, looking like it's coming on back here. Doesn't look too bad today to take a look at. PCG, the California one that got through finally all their legal battles. I think they should be in jail, but some people think that they should be bought in here at 1287. We'll see what happens if this goes through 13. There's a good price level there, guys. I'll tell you guys, this has a huge level there at 13. If this can go through there, it could continue to run. I'm not trading this company towards the upside. I have a little bit of a moral dilemma here with it, but hey, you guys could potentially make the money.
So Acon back up to that 240 there, popped above it. Buying the pulls has seemed to be the move here. So I'm not in it. 245, there's size there at 245. Let's see if they could take that out. Acon, this thing grinding here. Rolling through some of these other stocks here.
As technology come back and rally, you know, one of the things that I'm watching is I watch the sector in the sector chart that I have, and I'm just watching that, and I can see we pushed back a little bit. We pushed back, and then we came back right through the lows. Let's see what happens here if we can change this kind of conversation here.
All right, Mitch, it's 11 here. I'm going to get going. This was fun. This is just another great session here.
Definitely.
Absolutely love this community. Love everyone that shows up and supports us. Hopefully we made you some money today. Hopefully we taught you something today, and hopefully you had fun today. We're going to be back at this again tomorrow, right, Mitch?
Hey, one thing I will tell you is lift, baby. Can't go wrong. My man Ryan killing it today. And that's how it shows you that sometimes you got to mix it up, right? You saw Ryan do what there? A swing trade. It was like, you know what?
And a short. I tell you all the time how I'm a long bias, but we took puts. Hey. That was the environment we were in. We took puts.
Hey, sometimes you got to change it up. You can't just trade one way, but a lot of that is what Ryan has built up the skills during his years of experience, not just, let's say, he's been in this for 2 weeks and now he's changing up his strategy. No, he has multiple tools in the toolbox, and he pulled one out and said, you know what? A lot of things are pointing towards this one. I'm going to take a measured risk here for a big reward. That's what it's about also for day traders out there. Think about that. Because it's so important. You got to take risks.
I'm going to leave you with this. Jay's telling me to fix the 8-ball. I'm a little disappointed that the 8-ball gave us some pretty bunk answers earlier. Will we go higher after the Fed announcement today? Let's see what we do. Don't let us down, 8-ball. Come on.
Shaky. What do we got for us?
Will it focus? Come on. Very doubtful.
Ooh, very doubtful.
Very doubtful that we go up from the announcement today. At least it gave us an answer. We will see if the 8-ball is working. Folks, have a good one. We will see you tomorrow.
8-ball says we're going red, but guys, going red. I'll see you, Ryan. Hey, guys, we'll see what happens. Right now, it's been a red game. Do we change into green? I want to be green, guys, but right now it's looking like red. So we'll see what happens there, guys. We'll definitely take a look to see what happens in the market. Right now, I'm watching technology dropping here. And of course, wouldn't you know it, Biden's 2-minute late. But we'll keep going here. Like always, hit the like, guys. Let's keep it going. Cat still holding that 215 area. Keep eyes on it. Hey, thank you, Stress. Hey, don't mind you calling out the stocks, especially stocks that we're looking at. Ben said, peace. Much love there for Ryan. He's been killing it. Fix that 8-ball. We'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at some overall stocks. What are we getting here? Did Apple finally crush down? No, it's just been sideways here, guys. I'm taking a look at Apple to see if it's going to start pushing on up or something's going to change here. But definitely, it's been a struggle today to see what happens here. I need to put on some music because I think we need to change this on up. We need to change the mood. We need to maybe bring some reggae in here. Who wants some reggae out there? Let me know, guys, in the chat. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see if I can get some playing here. All right, let's get out of here. Boom, boom. There you go. Boom, boom. The weight of sound. Let's go. Let's go. Where's Zunaid at? Yes, I've been saying the same thing, guys. I was asking where's Zunaid at. I think he's getting better. I just think he's just not ready to come back and be live on camera. I know he's been taking care of things in the background even while he's sick. So maybe that's the issue also. He doesn't take a day off even when he's sick. But that's Zunaid, right? I mean, we can't blame him. But he will be back, guys. Common Kings. I love Common Kings. Hawaii music. Of course, this is Stick Figure, man. My Hawaiian RY, man, you need to invite me over there, man. I need to go out there. I was planning on going out there in my honeymoon, but with all this COVID thing, it kind of turned that around. But we'll see what happens there if I make it out there to Hawaii. All right. There you go. Biden's finally talking. All right, I'm gonna get him up here. You guys want to see the Biden stream? Let me know in the chat if you guys want to see the Biden stream. I can put him up. I can put that up right now if you guys wanted me to put it up. Eats9 says, play that reggae music. You guys let me know, guys. In the chat, throw up a Biden if you guys want to see Biden. Yeah. Hey. There you go. I see you guys. Joe, a new advice for new traders. Keep working the data to match your personality. Personality needs to match how you trade, and it needs to match your strategy. So understand yourself before you understand your strategy. And then once you understand your strategy, see, does that match your personality to give you those profits? Let's go. I see some Bidens. We want to see it. We want to see more trades. I mean, the problem here is that there's going to be a lot of movement probably off of this speech. So I'll bring him up here. I don't have no problem bringing it on up. Just got to go ahead and share the screen here. I'll get you guys going here. I'm going to bring the music off because I don't think you guys want to listen to some reggae while we're going through the Biden speech here. So let me go ahead and bring him on here. All right. Make this full screen here. Let's do the window here. Oh, no, Chrome tab. Boom. I hate when it does this and it puts it small here. Stop sharing. Let's just go do it. You guys have it. I'll put them up here.
Do with the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear him well there.
$35 instead of the hundreds of dollars, even $1,000 a month for some families. And my plan provides
I could do
tax
partial
credits to utility companies to generate clean energy, and those companies are required to pass those savings on.
We'll do partial here. I got you.
I met with about a dozen of those utility CEOs here in the White House, and they confirmed this plan will lower energy bills for families immediately. My plan includes tax credits for consumers to purchase electric or fuel cell
Boom,
vehicles,
boom. Then we'll take a look at the SPY on the left here.
which will save the typical driver about $80 a month, not having to pay for gas at the pump. Tax credits for folks to buy solar panels and heat pump and more efficient windows and doors for their homes.
Pump up the volume. I'll try to get them up a little bit more.
$500 per year on average. We can do these things by making sure that no one earning less than $400,000 a year will pay a single
Spam, you won't do
penny
it.
more in federal taxes. All we're asking is that the wealthiest Americans and the largest corporations begin to pay their fair share, at least part of their fair share. You've heard me say it before. I'm a capitalist. I believe you should be able to make much money as you legally can. but just pay your fair share. There's no reason why a billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a teacher or a firefighter. That's in sharp contrast to what today's Republican Party is offering.
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
if they hadn't put
The
this
battle's
in print,
on.
you'd think I was making it up. Senator
Take a
Rick
look at the
Scott of
1 minute
Florida,
here.
United States Senator, who's leading the Republican National Senatorial Campaign Committee, released what he calls the Ultra MAGA Agenda. It's a MAGA agenda, all right. Let me tell you about this Ultra MAGA agenda. It's extreme, as most MAGA things are. It will actually raise taxes on 75 million American families, over 95% of whom make less than $100,000 a year. Among the hardest hit, working families, kids with folks. Imagine you're a family of four and you don't make enough money to have federal taxes. You're not because you don't make enough money to pay them. You pay all your taxes, but you just don't make enough. And under this new plan, this tax plan, the Ultra MAGA agenda, while big corporations and billionaires are going to pay nothing more, the working class folk are going to pay a hell of a lot more. And it goes further than that. This extreme Republican agenda calls for Congress. Now, I'm not making this up either. You ought to really think about this. It requires a vote, if it were to pass, every 5 years. The Congress would have to vote to reinstate or eliminate Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Social Security is something seniors have paid in for their whole life. And it has to be reauthorized.
I think he meant some
every 5
emphasis
years.
there.
Look, again, it's hard to make this up, but then again, it's a mega agenda. Meanwhile, millionaires and billionaires and corporations skate by. Imagine that. Just imagine that. I think it is truly outrageous. I've offered a different plan, a plan rooted in American values of fairness and decency. Wealthy folks and corporations will pay a little more. Billionaires will have to pay a minimum tax. And again, most importantly, no one making less than $400,000 will pay a penny more in federal taxes. We're going to protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare, not put it on the block every 5 years. Let me remind you again, I reduced the federal deficit. All the talk about the deficit from my Republican friends, I love it. I've reduced it $350 billion in my first year in office.
Billion with a
track to
B.
reduce it by the end of September by another $1.5 trillion, the largest drop ever. I don't want to hear Republicans talk about deficits.
I think everybody's out there like, as long as the market doesn't drop like that.
I want to hear about fairness. I want to hear about decency. I want to hear about helping ordinary people. The bottom line is that for decades, the trickle-down economics has failed as income inequity grew to historic levels under the Republicans, the mega Republicans, the MAGA Republicans. I don't want to mispronounce it, the MAGA Republicans. This is time to grow the economy, but from the bottom up and the middle out. Because here's the deal. When the poor have a ladder up and the middle class grows, the wealthy always do very well. They do very well. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Everybody doing better. And so I want you to understand, again, first year, $350 billion reduction in deficit. This year, $1.5 trillion. It's going to bring some relief. Thank you. I take a few questions quickly.
May I ask you a question?
Ooh,
about
questions, and he's actually taking them,
about
guys.
sanctions against, or about further sanctions in
Ooh,
Europe.
there goes the
The European Union,
spy.
They announced new sanctions against oil
Spy said,
and
no
Russia.
mas.
What's
Stop
the next
talking,
round
Biden,
for the US?
please.
And also on a separate issue, what's the next step on abortion once this
Uh-oh.
case gets settled?
I
Uh-oh.
want to ask about deficits.
Spy leaking here.
I want to make sure this doesn't get covered. Okay, here we go.
Oh, he
I'm
said
gonna-
no
I'm
one's going to
gonna
ask me
answer
about
those
the
two questions and
deficit?
then go out
Come
to
on.
Olympians. With regard to the additional sanctions, we're always open to additional sanctions. And I've been in consultation. I'll be speaking with the members of the G7 this week about what we're going to do or not do, number one. Number two, what was it, the second one? You want, look,
Jay had it right, maybe. Oh, no,
as I
don't do the
said
questions.
When this hit, as I was getting on the plane to go down to Alabama.
Let me look at AMD. I want to see if we've gotten down there to
This
this
is about
level
a lot
yet.
more than abortion.
It is
I
leaking a
haven't
little
read the
bit.
whole
We'll see if it
thing
takes out
yet.
the lows there. Just be careful out there,
But
guys.
this
I'm seeing some
reminds me of
leakage.
the debate with Robert Bork. Bork believed the only reason you had any inherent rights was because the government gave them to you. If you go back and look at the opening comments with the Bork Biden, when I was questioning him as chairman, I said, I believe I have the rights that I have, not because the government gave them to me, which you believe, but because I'm just a child of God. I exist. I delegated by joining this union here to delegate some obligation, some rights I have to the governments for social good. So the idea that somehow there is an inherent right, that there is no right of privacy, that there is no right. And remember the debate you don't remember, but we had a debate about Griswold versus Connecticut. There'd been a law saying a married couple could not purchase birth control in the privacy of their own bedroom and use it.
Yeah, JC, no worries. Today we're allowing a little bit more to slide through, Biden speak going on, but I understand what you mean. We'll keep it serious.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
There he goes. He's out the door, guys. He's out the door. He's out of here. He took enough questions. They didn't talk about the deficit. He didn't like those questions. He didn't want to talk about that. He knew it was coming next. It was a bunch of questions on the abortion and, of course, more talk about what's going on right now. One of the things that I clearly can see there is what I can see clearly more separation from the Democrats and the Republicans. He stated it multiple times. The MAGA Republicans. What does this show me? More separation, not coming towards the middle. And when we don't go towards the middle, a lot of times we're going to be very polarizing on both sides. And so to me, this shows what? A little bit more concerned here. The SPY did leak down below those lows there. The 414.59 is what we were watching. We did come right back towards the low of the day, 414.25. We held around there. So let's see if we can hold that level. If not, it looks like we could continue seeing some leakage there. What has been getting hit the hardest today? Technology, guys. I talked about it in the pre-market. I was looking to potentially see a tech wreck today. And let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs will show us exactly that. And there you guys see it. Just a quick fade away there on the Qs there. Could have been maybe taking a short on the overall market or maybe the Qs. But I definitely don't want to go ahead and just seem like one of my hardest things to do, guys, is to give you guys a bearish view and then just start knocking stocks bearish. Because I feel like that's just it's kind of un-American, right? I mean, I like making some money on some shorts, but I also don't like just shorting everything. Because, I mean, I also don't want to get caught in short squeezes. But to me, the big thing here is just to kind of take a look at it. A lot of times people are leaning on extremes right now, whether they're extremely bullish or they're extremely bearish. And I think that right now is where you got to find somewhere to be in the middle. And I think one of the things that we definitely need is definitely some more coming together. And I think that's why I love seeing like NFT communities and crypto communities and stuff like that, because that at least shows that some people are more than willing to come together for one ideology. And I think that's what this country needs. And it needs it massively. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's take a look there at some stocks out there. If you guys got one you guys want to call out, go ahead and do it. We got about 13 minutes left towards Benzinga Live, where we will be interviewing the CFO of Trivago. So stay tuned for that. That's at 12:15. We got a great show for you planned on Benzinga Live. Of course, Spencer Israel. And of course, producer AB going to be taking on over here in just about 13 minutes. I see a lot of talks in the VIX. I don't have exactly VIX, but I do have a short-term one here that is very similar. It's at 97 here for me. Got up towards a high of 32. This has been moving back and forth, guys, back and forth. This is holding the support right now. What we don't want to do is see this close up back towards the 38s today. We'll see what happens. Like I said, guys, I don't have that exact one that you guys are probably looking at, but there you goes. Mitch, you are right about social structure in tech age. Yeah, we need it, guys, at the end of the day. Let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on out there. Tesla back towards the 800s. I don't think you probably would have expected that. One of the things is we've been calling about the kind of the balance that it's in right now. It's in a range right now of 929 on the upside, about 860 on the downside. We'll see if it gets to that 860 today. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Hit the like button. Let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. I'm going to get back towards that music because I think we need some music to kind of ease our minds here. Let's go ahead. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's go to Fly With Me here. I like this song here. Good Lord. I'm seeing one of those ads on YouTube where the guy's just holding money. If you ever see that, guys, run the other way. I'll tell you guys the truth. You guys ever see me just coming out with holding a whole bunch of money? Run the other way. Don't look at Money Mitch if I do that. Anybody can go and take some money out their savings account and hold it in a video. Or maybe even worse, fake money. Hey, there you go, guys. Let's take it easy here towards the end of the day. I know that it's been a tough day here, guys. So let's take a trip. Don't let anybody say you're wrong for taking the lift, guys. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look out there. Savings. Yeah, they just pull out their savings. They just, they just go into their savings. They go to the bank. They say, I want it in cash. And then they go back to the bank and they put it back in. Ooh. Let's go, guys. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what are we seeing out in the market and what sectors and industries are moving right now. So from right now into the green, we only have 3 sectors from the open because that's what I pay attention to. I know energy's in the green, but it's actually down red big from the open. I think that's an important thing to note. So you can see communication services are up today. What are those stocks? You have some cheaper stocks like FNGR, IDCC having a decent day there. But there's not much here that I'm seeing. So, I mean, I can go through this. T-Mobile, AT&T not looking bad today if you want to take a look at that one. Maybe Verizon, but I don't really see too much there. Let's go to the defensive names. Chegg coming back a little bit today. Coke having a good day today, guys. So if you want to take a look at defensive names, those are doing well right now. Confectionery and soft drinks. So Coke, Pepsi probably having a good day there. You guys see it? Fizz also having a decent day there. So keep your eyes on these. KO is another one from Coke you could take a look at. Oatly's. Is Oatly coming back? Oh, man, this is not coming back. I don't know if anybody drinks Oatly, but it doesn't look good right now. We'll see what happens out there. Household products. Colgate having a good day today. UG having a good. And Estee Lauder also coming back a little bit today. We'll see what happens on these. Procter & Gamble trying to hold them 156 today. And you're seeing consumer defenses move on up today. Utilities have been the strongest sector today. Stock like Wave, you guys can take a look at. Let's look at the higher cap ones. NEE having a decent day. Duke really bouncing back today. After these pulled back significantly, you're seeing a little bit of relative strength in the utility names today. What's going on out there, guys? Need some reggae island music. Yes, island music all day, man. Love the vibe there. Let's go. Yeah, with the lights, let's change it up, guys. I don't want to even be in the red anymore. Let's go. Let's change it up. Let's go back to blue. I like my blues. Little purple action in the background. The Jimi Hendrix action. Let's just go actual purple. Boom, boom. Change it on up here, guys. Let's go. What do we got? You're starting to make money on VXX on puts. That's interesting. Can you take a look at Kohl? Said KOLD. Starting to go up. It's inverse boil. Oh, okay. I didn't know that one. To tell you the truth, I did not know that one. So thank you for bringing that one up. I know boil, but I didn't know there was the inverse of boil here. Thank you for bringing that one up here. It is bouncing a little bit there. I mean, it would be very hard to try to call that towards the upside because I think you're just fighting the story out there. But I can't blame you. I mean, just always understand your kind of risks there, right? And so if you take a look here, what did you get? You got to move back from around 640s to 670s. I would look for about half of that on the retrace, and you got that exactly on here. It went down all the way back to 644. So I think if you're getting it, you got to get it near the support. I wouldn't get it near resistance, but it is coming back a little bit there, and that's coal. All right, let's keep it going, guys. It looks like we're getting above the storm now, guys, and I think that's what we got to see in the SPY. Do we get above the storm? The storm being that 416 area, now getting down there to the 414.59. We'll see what happens there, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. What do we got in Facebook? Let's take a look here. All right, got about 7 minutes left, guys. If you guys got a song or a stock to take a look at, throw it up in the chat. Let's do this. FB Meta coming back down after gains. You know, this one did push back on up, was holding some gains, but now starting to fade away. Let's take a look at the hourly. Do we get an hourly hold on this stock? That's the important thing here. You can see here we just cracked here right out the gates around the 210s. It needs to get back towards 215. Right now, I could see pullbacks closer towards 202. Right now, I would stay away from this stock, but like always, determine your own risk here, guys. Dash getting destroyed today, guys. A lot of that probably being because of that lift move that we saw. Twitter even coming back down. It hasn't broken the 48.50s. If that does happen, I'll probably get on out of my swing trade. But some stocks definitely struggling today. Z here struggling. Let's take a look at Kathy. ARKK coming right back down here, and it looking like it wants to break back down through the lows. This has just been a slow leakage for Kathy. We'll see if we can get back there towards 50, but right now not looking good. What is getting hit the most in Kathy's ARKK? I mean, pretty much everything. There's two stocks that are up, guys, Hood and TWOU. But what's the worst? Square getting hit again, guys. So just be careful out there, guys. Square has been one that I've been pointing the red flag since when? Since October of 2021, almost a whole year now that I've been pointing the red flag on Square and PayPal, and they just continue to leak. And what do? You continue to see money managers saying that you should be getting into Square and PayPal, even though they just keep getting crushed and crushed and crushed. Crushed and crushed and crushed and crushed. You see this circle? This is back when CNBC was recommending it with 4 money managers, guys. Not 1, not 2, but 4 money managers recommending it up there around the 180s, and you can see how good they did. So just be careful out there and what you guys make decisions based off of. All right, let's go ahead. We'll see what's out there. I'm sorry for 505, man. You can't just keep spamming the same ticker, man. I'll have to put you in a timeout. I'll put him in the timeout, Happy. You don't got to do it. I don't mind you bringing up a stock like that, but just wait. I usually get to the stocks, guys. A lot of times I'm going to go ahead and cover it, even if you guys hear me talking about some other ones. Disney being brought up in the chat there only once, and that's why they're going to get their ticker covered here. Dell here, DIS, and you're seeing the bottoming action towards 112. I say you look back towards the 2020 times, and that's below 100 for me on Disney. I'm not getting into I can get a chance to get close to those 2020 price points. All right, Marriott looking interesting here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. I did see that was up earlier in the day. How is it trading now? It's pulled back significantly. Let's look at the 5-minute here. You had that nice push up. It came back towards the VWAP, rejected that. So we're looking for a move back above 178. Right now, it looks like it's in pullback mode. I would be a little bit careful. Remember that Hilton gave really bad guidance towards the end of the year. They changed their guidance and pulled it back, lowering it. That's what really hit Hilton yesterday, and it hit even harder Expedia. If you look at Expedia, they went down about 12% yesterday, and it's still leaking out there. So just be careful out there, guys. You're seeing some turnaround there. SPY, or do we still got some leakage? Yeah, still not a reversal there in the SPY there. You're at 414.50s, but we'll see what happens if this continues to leak back down. All right, let's see what happens on out there. Your mic is cutting in and out. I'm sorry about that if my mic's cutting in and out. It's probably I'm a little bit of ways from it, but hey, let me raise myself up here a little bit. There you go. You should pick me up a little bit easier now. The mic should be fixed. All right, let's keep it going here. Get him, Happy. Get him. Lisa Lee says Upstart making new highs. Yeah, that one's mentioned earlier, and it has been doing well today. We'll see if these can continue making moves. All right, let's go. Upstart, how's that one doing? Yeah, it's continuing through the highs. Not a bad one there, and had a good chart there. nice levels to go off of and see that continued breakout. This is the rule of three. I'm not going to go into it, but look how you get those 3 resistance tries, 3 support tries, then a breakout. As long as it holds that third support, you look for the breakout. That's what I've been looking for, and boom. BRDS here being mentioned here. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to change it on up here. Try to get some new music for us here. Let's go. All right. Let's go with a little bit of, let's go with some dirty heads here. It's not a bad one to throw. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other stocks out there. We got about 2 minutes left here, guys. 2 minutes left. The Acon, who's locked up? Yeah, it's trying to get through that 245, 250 area. We were talking about this one earlier today. It did pull back towards the VWAP around 220s. Then it came right back up there towards the 245. Just be careful on this one. We'll see if it can continue making moves. Where do we got resistance? Resistance is going to come into play somewhere around this high here. So I would look for around 257. 257 is going to be an important level. Does it get through there and through the 260s, or does it start freezing up when it gets up there towards the 257 for the breakout? Does look interesting. It still looks like a kind of like a cup and handle pattern. Just needs a hold now above, let's say around 239. You could see wicks down below that, but you want to see it close above 239 to show you that continued strength up there towards the 260. All right, can you check out BTU? I traded it earlier today, lost on it, and so I kind of don't want to take a look at it, but I'll do it for you, man. Not at all. Was looking for this one to balance out during the 2190s, and it has been balancing out there. So we could take a look at it, but I really want to see this one come back roaring. You know, one of the things is you can see it here, it keeps holding the pullback here. And so one of the things that I was looking at was the hourly pullback of this level. So, right, you see kind of it just needs to hold these pullbacks, and you can see you got wicks down here. So buying pressure in the 2180s. I want to see it really start rising here. We'll see if this one can get moving. Doesn't look bad if it can get back above VWAP and hold, but every time it's gotten back above VWAP, it's come back and then cracked it below again. You are seeing some bottoming action. We'll see if this really starts moving. Biggest thing also is that you want to see the volume start ripping, and that hasn't happened yet, but you did see some volume come in on these bottoming candles here. Veryu is being talked about in the chat. Looks like it's 11:30, guys. I got to get on out of here, guys. I hope that you guys had a good time. I got to get ready for my interview that I'm going to be joining Spencer with for Trivago. So stay tuned for that, guys. We got over 500 people. I want to see over 500 people continue with us on Benzinga Live. I'll be on there also. We'll see if we get some trades also. That's going to go through the Fed meeting. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, see what happens, the reactions, come on over to Benzinga Live and don't miss it, team. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, I hope you guys had a good day hanging out with us here on Live Trading with Benzinga. I'll bring you guys on over. And now let's keep it going here.